Grantsville.
Is he the one who wanted to hear that song?
Everybody wanted to hear that song.
Why did we play that song?
Because on this day...
In 1981, Joe Dolce went to #1 in 15 countries with that song, sold 4 million copies.
Joe Dolce achieved international recognition with the multi-million selling song Shut Up Your Face. The single reached #1, in 15 countries.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
He says, now Joe Dolce was born in Paynesville, Ohio.
Okay.
Italian-American parents. He lived in America until 1978 and then moved to Australia.
Australia.
They'll appreciate me in Australia.
And became, and he has done a lot of stuff in Australia. He's still working. He did a protest song called Boat People, which was extremely popular in Australia. It's about the poor treatment of Vietnamese refugees.
Oh.
And there are a lot of them in Australia because actually Vietnam is very, very close to Australia in geographic terms. And
I can't find Boat People.
Huh. And so currently he performs with various groups. He co-wrote a song for the soundtrack of the Terminator movie. He was the lead actor in an Australian film called Blowing Hot and Cold. He performs solo and with a guy named Lynn Van Heck. They do a cabaret called Difficult Women. And yeah, he's still kind of, he's fairly well known and popular in Australia to this day.
I'm big in Australia.
He's 79 years old.
Do you think he has a shut up at your face house? He points to it and says, that's my shut up at your face
I remember
house.
the first time I ever heard Shut Up at Your Face. I was with Kerry Jackson, and we were at the Shooting Star Saloon up in Huntsville. And it's on the jukebox up there. Probably still is. And
that was the first time you heard it?
That's the first time I'd ever heard it.
I heard it on the Funny Five.
I know.
Dr. Demento.
You as a matter of fact, you selected that song and said, have you ever heard this? And I said, no. I listen to Dr. Demento's occasionally, but not very often. And so we played it on the jukebox there, and that's the first time you introduced me to that song. That was probably in 1987.
Well, the song came out in 81.
Oh, okay.
You didn't hear it for 7 years after it came out? No?
Gina, I'll bet you there are a lot of songs that came out in 1981 that I've never heard. I think it's entirely possible, yeah. I know certain things amaze you. For some reason, I'm always amazed by what amazes
But
you.
it went to #1. It's not like it was some obscure song.
It was. I don't recall that it was #1 on, local pop stations here. It was a Dr. Demento song.
Tonight on the Funny Five.
Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I'd go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind.
But #1 on the Funny Five tonight, of course, again, is Fish Head.
Fish Heads, Billy Mooney. I'll tell you, so Gina, they're coming to take me away.
Yeah.
I don't know what year that came out exactly, but I heard it right when it came out because they played it all the time on KCPX. And they played, and then Fish Heads. I think I must have heard that on Dr.
What about I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than to have a frontal lobotomy?
I'm a fellow with
Do
a
you have
heart
that?
of gold, with the ways of a gentleman. I've been told the kind of a feller that wouldn't even harm a flea.
Oh, I know this. Yeah.
But if me and a certain character met, the guy that invented the cigarette, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree.
Smoke, smoke, smoke.
Of course, it ain't 'cause I don't smoke myself, and I don't reckon they hinder your health. I've smoked them all my life, and I ain't dead yet.
It's smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette from
a poker game.
Tex Williams.
How about Ahab the Arab? We got Ahab the Arab somewhere?
About this one.
I have a sad story to tell you. It may hurt
I know this song mainly from doing Oktoberfest year after year after year up at Snowbird.
my bathroom. I stepped in a big pile of
use shaving cream. Be nice and clean. Shave every day and you'll always look clean.
Yeah.
Is this a Dr. Demento playlist on Spotify?
What else we got? It's kind of, I hate these kind of songs, but... Yeah, there we go.
He's free as the breeze, he's always at
Ray
ease.
Stevens,
He lives
right?
in the jungle and hangs by his knees as he swings through the trees without a trapeze in his BVD. He's got a union card and he's practicing hard to play the guitar. Gonna be a big star, yeah, he's gonna go far and carry moonbeams home in a jar. He ordered Chet's Guitar Course, COD, makes A and E, and he's working on B. Dig C and W and R and B, and me and a chimpanzee agree that one day soon he'll be a celebrity. Get it, get it, get it, get it out! Guitar Zan! He's a guitar man!
Ray Stevens is a very talented guy. It's got to be Tiny Tim.
Through the window, come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
It's time to get demented.
Poor Tiny Tim was really misused.
Bird. Bird is a word. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word.
But no, Gina, I didn't know "Shut Up Your Face" until 1987 or something.
There you go.
Maybe it was very front and center for me because when my dad discovered it, that became his theme song and played it.
It was. That's funny. I know all those. I knew all of those other songs, but the "Shut Up Your Face" eluded me somehow. I don't know.
There were quite a few of them on that list that were pretty big.
See what you missed? If you're not listening live to the Radio from Hell show with farting around,
Well, I don't know. You're kind of lucky that you didn't
hear any of
that.
Hey!
Those, most of those other songs that, though they were played on Top 40 radio as well as on Dr. Demento, and those Ray Stevens songs were huge hits.
Oh yeah, the streak was huge.
And he had the Arab, the Sheik of the Burning Sands. He had diamonds and rubies just a dripping off of him, and a ring for every finger of his hand. And he had a camel named Clyde, and Clyde would go, oh, oh. I remember.
Hey!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I remember those things.
That's taking up space in your head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very forgetful about things that happened last week. Yeah. Or no, honey, no, you're right. I forgot to go to the pharmacy and get your prescription. I'll get it today. I'm sorry.
But that you have.
No, but I got all that crap in my head.
Well, if only she could make a funny song about it.
It's a cleverly rhymed song.
Hey!
Well, okay.
There you go.
This has been Farting Around with Carrie, Bill, and Gina on X96, Radio from Hell.
Okay, then, let's take a break, shall we? And see if we can get all of this cleaned out of our heads. We'll take a break and come back, and you can check in with us. Do you have a favorite novelty song you'd like to remember? 877-602-9696. That's the number to call and check in with us. Tell us your favorite novelty song. You can also text us if you like, 33986, but we do like to hear from you on the phone, 877-602-9696.
Thank you.
Everybody wants to be cool.
6:19. Let's get this over with.
All right, let's do that, and then we'll start the show officially. Then we'll go to your check-ins at 877-602-9696. I was thinking, we did the novelty songs this morning. Tomorrow we ought to play the best of Kermit Schaefer. Mr. Blooper. Remember Kermit Schaefer?
There's no album in there.
Oh, Gina's got a record on her desk of Pardon My Blooper.
Oh, does she really?
And I thought she had the record there because I'm like, we've got the turntable in here now.
It's just the cover.
Kermit Schaefer, Mr. Blooper.
That's breaking my heart.
All right, well, let's officially begin the show, shall we, Gina?
Sure. Sponsored by Utah First Credit Union's personal checking, where every feature comes standard. Learn more at utahfirst.com.
The moon is 96.4% of full. There'll be a full moon on the 24th, what I think is Saturday. Is that right? Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. The moon will rise. It will set today at 6:42 a.m. Today being Thursday. It's the 22nd day of February in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2024. It's National Be Humble Day. It's a day for me. Kind of a day for me.
On the Funny Five, oh Lord, it's hard to be humble from Mac Davis.
It's Handsome Bill Allred, but maybe it should be Humble Bill Allred. Sure. It's Tex Avery Day, Carrie. Tex Avery created our iconic cartoons like Looney Tunes, Gold Miner, developed popular characters such as Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Elmer Fudd, all of that. Mm-hmm. It's National Cook a Sweet Potato Day.
Sweet tater.
I like a sweet potato. It's National Chili Day, and it's National Play More Cards Day.
Play More Cards Day.
Yeah. And this is the show for people who feel like hell in the morning. It's the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Carrie Jackson. I'm Handsome Bill Allred, handsome and humble. I'm a double H, Bill Allred, handsome and humble. It's our fine co-worker and other Lord of Morning Radio, Gina Barberi. Katie, for short, is our producer. Macy is here to help out, and Vax the dog is doing what dogs do. Mm-hmm. And now we'll go to your check-ins.
All right, let's go to Aaron.
Aaron at the airport. Good morning. Aaron.
Aaron.
A-double-A-R-O-N.
I always think that it's on our end, not their end.
I'm always positive, but...
Sorry, Aaron, I don't know.
Because I don't hear anything, which makes me suspicious.
Aaron is gone. Are you there?
I put him on hold. I was going to
he's called back. He's called back. He's on line 2.
All right, there we go.
So we lost you, and now you're back.
Yes, we lost me.
Okay, what's up?
I don't know. What's the matter, you, huh?
Hey, what's the matter, you? Hey.
What's the matter? Hey. Nah, man, I just got off a 10-day work week with Smith, and so kind of missed you guys. And, of course, I'm doing Uber this morning and wanted to call in and say, what's up?
What do you do with Smith's?
I'm the seafood manager and a meat cutter up at Fort Union.
Well, and then you do. You're a very hardworking man.
You don't take a day off, it sounds
Apparently not.
Oh, I know. My girlfriend thinks I'm Jamaican, but I'm Italian, so I don't know.
All right. That's
what we call apropos of nothing. All
Aaron,
right.
I think the angel of silence has flown
Aaron.
over us.
Yep. That's Frank Christ. That reminds me, Frank Christa's coming up. Stand by for
We'll see you later, Aaron. Thanks for checking in.
whatever that means. All right. My husband used to listen to Dr. Demento every week and record it off the radio.
Yeah.
I did that too.
I'd love to have that playlist for him. All you have to do is just Google Dr. Demento playlist.
It's all there.
It's not difficult.
There are hundreds of them.
So the fish heads, wasn't that Billy Mooney from Lost in Space? Mm-hmm. The only other claim to fame he had, as far as I know.
Oh, come on. He was on Babylon 5.
Oh, that's right. He was.
Meg the musician checking in. Premium farting around today. Thank you, Meg. Logan the welder checking in. Zane checking in on my way to work. Let's talk about sex, my favorite novelty song.
I don't think Dr. Mento
I don't think
played.
that, no.
I don't know that one.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Not
Let's
sure.
talk about you.
Yeah, not sure of the song, but it's just called Traffic Lights on the Jukebox. It's a dart playing favorite. I have no idea.
I don't know that.
I need more input. Today will most likely be the last day I can listen to you while at work due to asshats not using the approved headphones.
Ruining it for everybody.
Don't know what that means. Mike in Nashville checking in. Ray Stevens still performs regularly at his own Cabaret showroom here in Nashville.
You know, he did a song, and he had a hit, kind of a hit with it, and it was a Hoagie Carmichael song, I think. Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. Look at, what is it?
Oh.
Is it Misty? Is that the name
You're
of it?
thinking of a different song. You're thinking of...
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Everything is beautiful.
That's Ray Stevens.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a big hit on country radio.
Yeah, he's
certainly not It's Me Again, Margaret.
No.
It's me again, Margaret. Yeah, it's a song about a guy making obscene phone calls. Yeah.
Or how about Art Linkletter's? Remember when he did that song after his daughter died he claimed from a LSD overdose or something, and he did it, this talk song. Oh my God. Or Mike Douglas, the man in my little girl's life. The man.
You're creeping me out,
hate
man.
those songs. Oh, I just hate them.
All right. Let's see. Gwyneth Goes Skiing tickets just went on sale at 6 a.m. Got mine.
Well, that's the play.
The play up in the Egyptian Theater.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's go to Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Where are you calling from, Josh?
Good morning. I'm calling from, well, actually, I'm in Grantsville, but I'm from Tooele.
Okay.
Well, out here for work.
All right.
I have a question for Carrie. About 2 years ago, I went on a cruise. Yeah. I was curious.
Yes.
Did they consistently play Come Sail Away by Styx every...
You know, it's funny. I didn't hear
I don't know, minute?
I didn't hear it once. No.
You would have noticed.
I would have
every
noticed.
Every chance they got on my cruise, they played it.
Which cruise line?
Royal Caribbean.
That's why.
They might have the rights, the Styx rights.
They have the rights because
Carrie's on Princess.
Because the Princess cruises, it was Love Boat.
The Love Boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of other stuff that they were playing, but I did not hear Styx Come Sail Away.
All right.
I'm sorry that ruined your cruise because it would.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. Did you like the cruise, Josh? Did you like it?
I enjoyed it.
Where did you go?
I don't know. We went to Cozumel.
Oh,
okay.
Down in Mexico.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh. See ya.
Check in from Chris in Ogden. I have two favorite novelty songs. Weird Al's White and Nerdy, which, yes, I must admit, I like. Mm-hmm. And Ray Stevens' Mississippi Squirrel Revival, which I don't need to hear again.
No.
Let's see. Grouchy Todd from Eagle Mountain. This was a very relieving farting around.
You got relief from that?
I guess. Clementine the Cat and Luis checking in from Harrisburg, PA.
Good morning.
Johnny B checking in. Girlfriend and I made it to the wedding reception last night. I had to explain to her that the basketball hoops generally get stuffed with flowers in the church gym for such events. May I dedicate it one last use a condom drop to the young people, please.
Please.
Cardboard Chris checking in. When I was a kid, my mom used to take us to Burger Barn in Salem. I worked there. She told us the place was called the Funny Farm, which is the place in the song.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to take me away, ha-ha.
I worked in the dairy behind it, behind the Burger Barn. Bill has corrupted the word hug for me. Hearing Gina mentioning a hugging pillow yesterday intrigued me. Well, okay.
Yeah, and she meant it that way, too.
That's exactly what I was talking about, yeah. A feather pillow is much better for...
The Wacky World of Tex Avery was one of my favorite shows growing up as a kid, somebody says. Sticks from Maryland checking in. Apologize for not checking in for the past few episodes. Have not been feeling well. Been sick for a whole week. And have even lost my voice.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Colonel Coffee Bean checking in. I was told yesterday that coffee is a luxury, but I'm pretty sure it's a necessity. Who told you it was a luxury, Colonel Coffee Bean? I need to know now.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that conversation. Ken from Ogden. I used to stay up until 10 on Sunday night to listen to Dr.
Me
Demento.
too.
Yes, horrible sentiment, but one song stuck. It was Dead Puppies.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Dead
No,
Puppies.
stop.
I don't remember that one.
Don't.
No, don't.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. The thrust of the song is they're not very fun. That's the point of the song.
It's quite philosophical, isn't it?
Anissa and Sandy. Let's see. Another one, Rides the Bus, is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Spiders and Snakes by Jim Stafford.
I don't like spiders and snakes, but if that's what it
I've
takes.
got that on vinyl right over there.
Oh, you do?
I think I do.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Tyler the Trash Man checking in. Don't know if it counts as a novelty song. Nellie the Elephant is my favorite.
Yeah, it is.
That's a novelty song.
You know, we should pull that one out.
We haven't played. We used to play it all the time.
Let's pull that one out and play it, shall we? We'll play it next.
Who is it? Toy Dolls?
Toy Dolls.
Yeah, Toy Dolls.
We'll play it next for you. We did. We used to play it all the time. Camille in Toledo checking in. Intern Damon grew up on Ray Stevens' Greatest Hits, Volume 2.
There were two?
Oh, yeah. No, he cranked them out.
Oh, he did. Morning, Lords and Lady. Aaron checking in. Pure Inebriation. Got to Give It Up to Seth MacFarlane. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's I know that's what song.
Oh,
he's
Pure
talking
Inebriation.
about.
Oh, that's the.
It's like Pure Imagination.
It's in
but
the. It's in the Family Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Rachel is here. Hi.
Hey, Rachel.
Close us out,
Hi.
Rachel.
Hi. What's up? Where are you calling from?
I'm just checking in, picking up my kids on a rainy German day.
You're in Germany?
I am in Germany. I'm actually on my way to England next. We're moving from Germany to the UK.
Are you in the military?
No, my husband works as a civilian contractor for him now.
Now, do you enjoy this living abroad like this?
Germany has not been my favorite place to live, so hopefully England is better.
Why has Germany not been good to you? Where in Germany are you living? Rammstein?
So yes, actually, in Ramstein. I live in a small village just outside Ramstein.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very different. The culture here and the people here all have a very different way of going about daily life, and so it's awkward and strange a lot of the time.
The food in Germany is really good, though.
Mm-hmm.
The bread is amazing,
Yes.
but I do not recommend the food in this part of Germany. It's bad.
Okay.
Everywhere else in Germany, it's fine.
And where in England are you going?
We are going to be about 30 minutes outside of Cambridge.
Oh, fun.
That'll be good.
You'll enjoy
Call us
that.
from Cambridge.
Please. All right, we'll see you.
All right.
I will, for sure.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye, Rachel. All right.
Jawohl.
Traffic, Gina, please.
Bad delays heading westbound from Wall Avenue to the tracks at 5th West and 12th Street in Ogden. Appears that the railroad arms are stuck down there. Crash westbound I-80 at Jeremy Ranch in Summit County. Left lane and shoulder block. Traffic getting by on wet roads on the right. Restrictions are still in place for Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons. Be prepared if you're headed to the ski resorts that you will need chains or all-wheel drive. And what are you seeing out on the roads? Yes, even in Germany. You can give us a heads up on how traffic is there. 33986 is where you do that.
All right, coming up in our next break, Big Boy News, Opinnuendo, and Frank Christ presents They're Fine, They're Just Fine.
I think people are probably wondering, how did I guess that she was living in Ramstein?
Well, that's where the air base is.
That's because there's a big Air Force base there.
Yes, that was a good guess, though. Good detective skills.
And Bill, you're going to need to grab something from your desk.
I got it.
Okay, for a prize
Here
for
it is,
Frank
right
Christ.
here.
Coming up next, it's Toy Dolls with Nellie the Elephant.
This is what I have for the prize. Off my
it's
desk.
a mug.
It's a big Mickey Mouse Disneyland. It says Disneyland on one side. It's got Mickey Mouse on it.
That'll be for Frank Christ.
Yeah.
All right, coming up.
Don't miss a single moment of the Radio from Hell show.
So I saw this story too this morning, and it's did somebody break wind on the news?
It's what is that sound? Is what we're playing. It's a game.
So see if it sounds like that to you. This is during an interview with a Democratic Representative. How do you say his name?
Swalwell.
Swalwell. He's on being interviewed by Chris Matthews on MSNBC.
Mhm.
And you've got the audio.
I've got the audio. So we'll start off with Chris, and then he'll talk, and then you'll hear the fart during Eric Swalwell's response.
Who were on the phone listening to the president talk about this swap of dirt for U.S. military aid.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard...
Okay, one more time.
There we go.
Evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard...
Who were on
the... Now, so the internet, the Twitter, and all of that went crazy with.
Yeah.
So who farted on the? Now they say.
Chris Matthews tweeted out saying that it was a coffee mug scooting across a table.
Which it probably is.
It could be, but it also sounds to me like a wooden stool leg.
Yeah.
Scraping across the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more likely one of those things than a fart.
I thought it was somebody just farting around. Somebody just put that in there. That's what it seemed like to me.
Added it to it?
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, they said that it happened during the broadcast because if you look at Swalwell's face, he kind of grimaces a little.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
What was that?
Well, then it was him. It was Swalwell.
And
that was a Democratic fart.
He said, "No, it wasn't me. I don't know where it came from, but it was funny at the time, and that's why I smiled."
Well, let's see. They say the smeller's the feller.
Well, what does it mean, the listener? The listener's the what?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to...
The hearer's the...
Is the bearer?
I don't know.
I thought he who smelt it dealt it.
Well, it doesn't indicate that he smelt it. It indicates that he heard it.
Yeah, so we don't know if he dealt it. Fox smells his own hole first. That's what they say.
Taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And
now he pauses a little bit there.
Yeah, just kind of because
Well,
he's
that's why
sneaking it. He thought he could sneak it out.
He kind of goes, "What was that?" Huh?
Although, wouldn't he'd sort of have to have a microphone near his.
We don't know if it was
ventilator.
whether it's his or Chris's because they leave Chris's
side?
mic on as well.
Oh.
So
Well,
what Chris is claiming is that it was his coffee mug going across the top of the table.
Okay, then it's Matthews, and you can look at him. He's a farter.
He's a farter.
Yeah, he gets too excited about stuff, and
the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And
yeah, that
Cheat,
pause. That pause is
that tells me he knows it's coming.
The pause is unfortunate.
That tells me he knows something's happening.
Boy, you mean like he leaned up?
So
Like he tried to one-cheek sneak?
one-cheek sneak while he's standing up?
Because, you can't fart in those hearing rooms. They're so condensed and
all
those people.
People would go, God, who did that?
Well, actually, that's the better place to go because there's so many possible...
Wasn't me.
Wasn't
Wasn't me. Where was I yesterday? I was in a car with some people, and I won't say who, but I kept thinking, somebody is stinking this car up. And you don't want to say anything because...
You'll embarrass somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to help him cheat an election.
Yeah, that was Chris Matthews.
Think it was Matthews?
Yeah.
Ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Yeah, that's an old man fart. That's an old man fart. It's kind of
How
raggedy.
can you tell?
It's kind of raggedy.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not
strong,
full throated. It's kind of raggedy and almost wet sounding.
Oh,
and here are the rhymes that we were looking for. He who denied it supplied it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The blamer is the claimer.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, people who
All right.
listen to the show. You're smarter than we
Thank you
are.
very much.
Very good.
Like all the time.
I disliked it every time we played it.
All right, 6:41.
It's no detachable penis, that's for sure.
True, I missed that too. Yeah. All right, news now. All right, big boy news and opinion window. Right after the news, it's Frank Christ presents They're Fine, They're Just Fine. Our Dead Celebrity Game. We're going to give you 4 celebrity names, 3 of them fine, 1 of them dead. Pick the dead one correctly, and you will win direct from Bill's desk because it has come to this.
This Mickey Mouse mug, directly from the Disneyland amusement area. It's a nice mug, really.
It's a big mug.
Big Mickey Mouse, happy, smiling Mickey Mouse. It says Disneyland on the other side. I'll make sure and wash it out before I give it to you.
Thank you.
Okay. But first, 877-602-9696 is how you win that fabulous prize. Call.
Yeah, you want to get your DNA out of that, Bill? Because you don't want this to come back and haunt you in like a murder investigation.
That's true.
Bill Ulrich did it. His DNA's all over the mug.
But first, big boy news and opinnuendo brought to you by.
Become a nurse in just 32 months at Nightingale College, blending online classes with on-ground supervised field experience, virtual college, actual nursing. Start your nursing journey at nightingale.edu, now accepting enrollment for spring semester.
Well, somebody says who texted us, Bill needs to make room in his heart for whimsy. No, there's too much spite and bitterness in there. I can't make any more room in there. Whimsy just has no place.
Besides, who's whimsy?
Yeah. Listen to this. A Colorado man has died after being bitten by his pet Gila monster.
Ooh.
In what would have been a rare death by one of the lizards if the creature's venom turns out to have been the cause, and it probably was. And the Gila monster had a name. Winston was the Gila monster.
They were going to say it was whimsy.
It was Winston, and I'm pretty sure it's Gila monster, although I heard this story reported on KSL, and the reporter said, Gia monster. It's a Gia monster.
Gia?
But I'm pretty sure it's Gila monster. It's Gila monster. You don't have to look, Gina.
Are you sure?
Just to confirm my yes, it's Gila monster. But you go ahead and look.
Gila monster.
Yeah. Or they sometimes beaded lizards. Christopher Ward taken to a hospital shortly after being bitten by Winston, one of his 2 pet Gila monsters. It doesn't say what the name of the other Gila monster is. Winston was the offender.
I bet it's whimsy.
Ward's girlfriend handed over the lizard. And they do give the name of the other one. Potato. Not whimsy. Winston and Potato. Now, generally, Gila monster bites are painful, and they are poisonous, but they generally don't kill people. But Mr. Ward had a immunocompromised condition of some sort, and they're thinking that that's why it caused him to die.
Expire?
Yes. Nearly a week after going missing, police say a local woman, Tooele woman, found dead in Salt Lake City. According to the Tooele City Police Department, they were notified by Salt Lake Police that a vehicle belonging to Karen Crawford had been located and that she had been found dead inside of that vehicle. Police did not say where Crawford's black Mazda CX-5 was discovered, but it was found several miles from where she was last seen Thursday near the Fashion Place Mall in Murray. An investigation is underway, but no foul play is suspected in Ms. Crawford's death. Family said that she had not used her phone or any kind of debit card since she went missing. She was 43 years old. She was a wife and mother, and she struggled apparently with bipolar disorder and had recently attempted to harm herself, according to some family members. You know, it's kind of creepy. There's a car that's been parked out in front of my house for almost 2 weeks now, and which is against the law. You're only supposed to park on city streets for, I think, 3 days is the limit. And I keep meaning I'm going to do it today. I'm going to call parking enforcement. Yeah. But I got very nervous about it. And I thought, maybe there's somebody in there dead or something. So I went and I can see pretty much in all parts of the car. And there's no trunk. It's got a hatchback. So. But it's still just weird. Yeah, I didn't see anybody, and it's just so weird when you So somebody unfortunately had discovered this car, just looked inside and went, "Oh my gosh." Police are still investigating what led to a 9-year-old being arrested after the shooting death of the 9-year-old's 32-year-old family member last week. The Tooele City Fire Department, or Police Department rather, said its officers were dispatched to a home on Friday in the area of 380 West Mill Creek Way, where 32-year-old man was reportedly unconscious and bleeding from his head. They arrived at the home. Officers found the man. They said it looked like a gunshot wound. He was transported to the hospital where he later died. Chris Bertram was talking with Fox 13. Bertram is a retired deputy chief of police. He said, "In 34 years, I've been directly involved in no criminal justice. I haven't heard of somebody this young." That's a misprint. "In the 34 years I have been directly involved in criminal justice," I don't know why they put the word "no" in there, "I haven't heard of anybody this young being and they haven't charged this 9-year-old with a crime at this point.
But they've been arrested.
Yeah, well,
They're in custody.
They're in detention, I think is what they're calling it. The investigation will expand as to how the child got the gun, all of that, and but it just doesn't seem as though there would be any way possible they would charge someone that young with a crime. Just have to see how that plays out. If you're still using an older laptop or have one sitting around, you may want to confirm whether its charger is part of a massive recall. The Consumer Product Safety Commission announced yesterday a recall of 15.5 million Toshiba brand AC adapters due to fire and burn hazards. So there's a picture of it at x96.com/live. The agency says it's received 679 reports of the recalled AC adapters overheating or catching on fire, melting, and burning. Those incidents reportedly resulted in at least 43 people suffering minor burns. The adapters were sold with Toshiba laptops from April 2008 through April 2014. They are also sold separately in that same time frame, costing between $25 and $75. So just look, if you have an AC adapter made by Toshiba, check with, you can go to support.dynabook.com and find out if your adapter is part of the recall. Also, another recall, the Toyota, they are, that story's gone the way. They're recalling 280,000 pickup trucks and SUVs because the vehicles can creep forward while in neutral. There's a problem with the trend. No, it's not. The recall covers certain Toyota Tundra pickup trucks and Lexus LX600 SUVs from 2022 and 2023 model years. Also included 2023 and 2024 Toyota Sequoia SUVs. So if you have a vehicle like that, check with your Toyota dealer. Well, Gina, at least 4 guests staying in hotels in Las Vegas on the Strip have reportedly encountered bed bugs in their rooms between September and January. At least 4 guests staying, let's see, which hotels?
I need to
Health
know
inspectors here we go. Health inspectors from the Southern Nevada Health District confirmed bed bug sightings at the Encore, the Venetian.
Those are nice hotels.
The Venetian, the Excalibur Hotel and Casino.
Oh, no, you expect it there.
And the Mirage. A bed-bug sniffing dog deployed by the Encore found a live bed bug on December 5th after a guest complained, according to the news station. The hotel closed that room for service.
Can I insist on a bed bug sniffing dog whenever I check in?
When you go to Las Vegas, I think so.
To make a once around the room, yeah. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, what would you call a bed? What name would you give a bed bug sniffing dog? Think of a good name for one.
Name?
A guy named Remy Lucidi, a daredevil and photographer, had made a name for himself with his intrepid photographic stunts, which often saw him scaling high buildings around the world to take photographs and selfies. Well, Mr. Lucidi, whose name on Instagram is Remy Enigma, reached the 68th floor of the Tre Gunter Tower in mid-levels in Hong Kong, and that's when he was last seen alive by a maid inside the building as he knocked on the window, perhaps to catch her attention and to try and return inside. The startled maid called police after noticing the man, But when help arrived, he was nowhere to be found. In the high part of the building, he was found on the ground. He had fallen to his death.
Wow.
From that tower. And the panda bears that everybody loves, that China took back, they're sending a couple of them back to the San Diego Zoo. Spy pandas, probably.
Yes.
Spy pandas.
They've got like chips in them or something, you know?
Yeah, they had to chip them and then send them back.
Don't tell them anything.
Recording device or something.
The China Wildlife Conservation Association recently signed cooperation agreements with zoos in San Diego and in Madrid, Spain, and is in talks with zoos in Washington, D.C., Vienna. China's government-run Xinhua news agency said Thursday, describing the deals as a new round of collaboration on panda conservation. And finally, this story. A human leg has been found abandoned on a New York subway track, police said, sparking an investigation into who it once belonged to and how they lost it. And this is not a fake leg and not a artificial.
It's a proper leg.
It's a regular leg. I think the person who owned the leg shouldn't be too difficult to spot.
Well, but they didn't lose the leg. They weren't carrying it around and dropped it.
Oh, leg
gone. How do you know? What do you mean they weren't carrying it around and dropped
Carrying
it?
around their leg?
Somebody was carrying around a leg.
This from a medical examiner's office or a morgue,
and
or
was
something.
carrying it around and dropped it.
But not like the person that owned the leg wasn't carrying
The
the
bloody
leg.
hole in the mosquito netting. Leg gone.
I'm going back to claim my leg. You don't know. No details were released about the leg, such as whether it appears to be from a male or female or the possible age of its owner. New York medical examiner is examining the leg to find out more details and possibly solve the mystery. I don't.
Will you be following this story for us throughout the day?
I think I'm going to try and forget about it.
Search the thicket.
All right, that's it.
Sports weather traffic.
The National Wrestling Alliance, for which Billy Corgan serves as owner and president, has announced an exclusive streaming rights deal with the CW, including a new reality show starring the Smashing Pumpkins frontman. So you'll get Billy Corgan reality wrestling show on the CW. Let's see. We've got RSL. Not surprising that they lost to Inter Miami 2-0. It could have been worse. How about that?
Lionel Messi he had one assist apparently in that game. He didn't score anything.
Let's see. The Jazz are home tonight to the Charlotte Hornets. And the Utah Utes women's basketball team, they're ranked 18 right now. They're on the road today. They play the number 12 UCLA Bruins at 7:30. That is your sports. Weather. So decreasing clouds today, and things should be drying up. High of 47, and we dry up and warm up. Wow, by Sunday we could be close to 60 degrees. Now they're saying we have a chance for snow first part of next week, so we'll warm up, and then
I got a light dusting on Mount Doom last night.
Oh,
yeah, we got a little bit up at my house as well.
Just a smidge. Let's see, traffic. We have a crash on the connector ramp, northbound I-215 to go I-80 Redwood Road on the west side belt. Highway Patrol might shut down the ramp. Be prepared for an alternate if that happens. There are some wet roads out there. A crash westbound I-80 at Jeremy Ranch in Summit County. Left lane and shoulder block. Traffic getting by on the wet roads there. And restrictions are still in place for Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons. Be prepared before heading to the ski resorts today with chains and all-wheel drive. Experience the magic and enchantment of Cat and Cauldron, your premier destination for all things occult and metaphysical in Taylorsville. catandcauldron.com.
Frank Christ has joined us in the studio once again. The temperature has dropped 30 degrees. The second you come into the studio, it gets colder.
I'm sorry.
I can see my breath, Frank.
You can't help it, Bill. Don't get mad at him.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's only when I appear. If I wasn't visible, you wouldn't feel it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Frank. Frank Christ is a Grim Reaper. He reaps the souls of celebrities only. He's a specialist in that regard, and he is the typical Reaper, as you might expect. He has the cowl, the hood, the robes.
You know him when you see him.
He
what
has
he's
the
there
scythe.
for.
And the only difference between a regular Reaper and Frank is that he goes around in an electric scooter, which.
Oh, because I love the environment.
I know you do. As much as you love celebrities?
Almost as much. No, nothing comes close to my love of celebrity.
Frank is here to play a game we call Frank Christ Presents.
They're fine. They're just fine.
He's given me a list of actors, and on this list, well, there's one actor that Frank has taken. Now, he doesn't kill these actors. He just goes to claim their souls when they die.
I take them to the distribution center. And what happens to them after that, I don't know. Most of them wind up in hell. I don't know.
You don't really know. Yes. The other three actors on this list, they're fine.
They're just fine.
They're just fine. But it's the contestant's job to figure out which one is dead, and if you do it correctly, who's the contestant, by the way?
Natalie is here.
Natalie. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning.
Natalie, if you correctly identify the dead celebrity, you're going to win this beautiful Mickey Mouse mug directly from Mickey's Candy Cauldron in downtown Disney, right there.
You can't turn those into Kilby tickets, can you?
No.
Let me look.
Ah.
No, I'm sorry. That's not possible. All right.
I thought that's what it was going to be today. Thank you.
Are you going to just hang up then?
No, I'm not going to hang up.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
I'm not a poor sport.
All right. What is your name again? Is it Lindsay?
Natalie.
Natalie. That's right.
Natalie.
I usually write it down so I don't. There we go. Natalie.
Or you can call me Miss Gray. I'm a middle school teacher.
Oh, okay, Miss Gray. Let's play the game, shall we? These actors that Frank has given me are in movies about gamblers and gambling because it's National Play More Cards Day. Number one on the list, MC Gainey. He made his big screen debut in Pennies from Heaven, starring Steve Martin and Bernadette Peters. He appeared in over 50 films, including Two Idiots in Hollywood, The Mighty Ducks, The Fan, Con Air, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, and Sideways. His gambling movie is The Cooler, about a casino worker called a cooler who has bad luck, and his presence at a casino is designed to stop people from winning. Number one on the list, MC Gainey. Second actor on this list, Michael Murphy. He's had roles in films like Manhattan, An Unmarried Woman, Nashville, The Year of Living Dangerously, Phase 4, and Magnolia. His television roles include guest appearances on Bonanza, Beretta, The Sixth Sense, Law & Order, Judging Amy, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. His gambling movie, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, a classic about a mysterious gambler in the Old West. Number two, Michael Murphy. Number three on the list, Ricky Jay, American stage magician, actor, and writer, perhaps the most gifted sleight-of-hand artist ever, said Variety magazine, I think it was. In addition to sleight of hand, he was known for his card tricks and card throwing and writings about magic. His acting credits include the films The Prestige, The Spanish Prisoner, Mystery Men, Boogie Nights, Tomorrow Never Dies, and he was on the HBO series Deadwood. His gambling movie, House of Games. Ricky Jay, number three. And finally on the list, Elliot Gould, an American actor in a career spanning over 7 decades. His breakthrough role was in the film Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. He starred as Captain Trapper John McIntyre in MASH. Other notable film roles include Alan Arkin's Little Murders. He was in A Bridge Too Far and Capricorn 1. His gambling movie, California Split. He and a character played by George Siegel share a passion for gambling. Number four, Elliot Gould. All right, Natalie, Miss Gray, which one of these are not alive?
I'm gonna I don't know. My neighbor has a dog named Ricky, so I'm going with that. My gut feeling, the Ricky guy.
It was Ricky Jay. Yes, I'm sorry to say.
Good guess.
Yes, a good guess. He died in 2018.
Why are you going to kill me, ticket?
The age of 72, because somebody else is going to win those later on, Natalie. Not you.
I got a great mug, though.
You do?
It's gonna be even more special.
I promise I'll wash it out, okay?
I will manifest tickets somewhere else.
Okay. Hang on the line, Natalie, and somebody will tell you how to come and get your lowly Mickey Mouse mug.
No.
Hang on.
Good luck with that manifestation.
No, you just put it out there, Frank, and it comes back to you.
It only works when people like I do it.
Oh.
Not when people like you do it.
Frank, you ought to check all the rest of the people on this list.
That is a healthy not a healthy list.
No, MC Gainey, 76.
Yes.
Michael Murphy, 85.
I'm surprised Elliot Gould's still with us.
He's 85. He's still with us.
Well, I'm going to go check on Elliot and Julius Irving today.
Who?
Dr. J?
Oh, Julius Irving.
74.
Oh.
Oh, and Gina Kyle McLaughlin, 65.
Oh, he's fine.
You're going to get Twin Peaks trivia later today.
All right.
Just so you know. Well, I'll go check on Elliot. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Frank.
Oh, hang on.
Bye.
There he goes.
Crash on the connector ramp northbound I-215 to go I-80 Redwood Road on the west side belt. Streets are wet out there, so be aware that might be part of your commute this morning. Restrictions are still in place for Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons. Be prepared before heading to the ski resorts today with chains and all-wheel drive. That's traffic.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll take a break. We'll be back after these with some geek news for you, and Boner of the Day is on the way. Stand by.
Imagine this. Tickets to see AJR at the Delta Center.
The good news is that I've learned that if you combine the mangosteen fruit with certain alcohols, it will cure cancer. And I've got the margarita recipe here, the cancer-curing margarita recipe right here. 1 shot of tequila, 2 shots of Zango, and 3/4 shot of triple sec. All right,
It's a martini. It'll cure your cancer.
that will cure cancer. I am cancer-free for 15 years.
And there's your proof.
So there you go. What more proof do you need?
So apparently they really put this in there in the company literature.
Oh, hell yeah.
You see that?
You can't do that.
No. What you do is you infer it.
Mm-hmm.
Say, oh, this
You get your distributors to talk about it.
You don't put it in your literature.
Look, all I can say to Zango is, why aren't I your spokesman? I'm cancer-free for 15 years. I found that it's the mixing with alcohol that makes it work. Why don't they call
reaction
me? This is a $1 million company. This is my ticket to a big pay.
And they're local here. They should know who you are.
They should know who I am, right? I could give them a whole list of recipes, drink recipes, martinis, margaritas, daiquiris, that will, cure cancer and depression.
You're awfully happy now that you do.
I'm happy and cancer-free.
Everybody knows that Zango won't cure cancer. It's Tahitian noni that cures cancer.
Can you mix that with alcohol?
Oh, no.
No, you don't want to do that, no.
You don't want to drink that, period.
Wonder what does this mean for them?
They have 15 days to respond. My guess is that either Orrin Hatch will swoop in like Super Hatch and save the day, because he's big on that, supplement business stuff, or they'll just have to take that out of their literature.
Yeah, I think probably they have to say, sorry, we won't do it anymore.
They'll have to tell the people who sell it, don't say that.
Does really cure cancer. Or we don't have any evidence.
We don't have any evidence that it cures cancer. But Kerry Jackson, 15 years cancer-free because of the magic cancer-free margarita.
Because cancer's one disease. I love that when they say it cures cancer. Cancer's a whole bunch of different things.
Well, that's the beauty of it. It cures cancer.
That's how good.
Kinds of
apparently,
cancer.
That's how good this stuff is.
All cancer's the same. You drink this.
Drank all our good liquor, you big moocher.
I like that. That's a new one I put.
You drank all our good liquor, you big moocher.
The bad liquor's still here, but the good.
I drink a bit.
And I'll change this drop from.
What do you say you and me go out and get plastered?
To.
What do you say you and me go out and get
cure cancer?
What are you guys doing? We're curing cancer.
I am curing cancer with this magic margarita recipe. Okay.
Right this second.
Hey, right this second, I'm curing
cancer
right now, even as I stand here and look at you.
Cancer cells dying right and left. Well, shout out to Evander in Riverton.
Riverton?
Mm-hmm.
Evander.
Mm-hmm.
Riverton.
Riverton, Utah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Is this a sponsored feature?
Are you trying to not be bored? Pick up a board game from Haster Games. They have board games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, miniatures, dice, paints, and more. 6831 South State and online at hastergames.com.
All right. Yes. Just try to bring you something to watch while you're at work. Because you're not working, we all know. Your boss knows.
Mm-hmm.
He monitors your computer. Did you know that?
Yep.
What?
Yes.
Read your email.
He does. He has access to all of that, and it's completely legal. It is true. But maybe you and your boss could sit down and watch this today. And you can explain to your boss what Borderlands is. We got our first trailer, first look at a movie. Borderlands is a video game.
Okay.
So you know. But they made a movie. And honestly, it looks like it might not suck. Mostly because Cate Blanchett is the lead.
Well.
And, you know, gamers, they love
their
Cate Blanchett.
Miss Blanchett, they call her.
I like Cate Blanchett. She's one of my favorite Marvel villains.
Yeah.
Hela, yeah.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
So we're getting some definite Guardians of the Galaxy vibes right away.
Hidden treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe. God, I hate this planet.
So, Cate Blanchett is Lilith, the outlaw leader of a crew on a mission to retrieve a treasure from a vault on a planet. Kevin Hart is in the mix as Roland. Jamie Lee Curtis stars as Tannis.
How did I get the name?
The cast also includes Jack Black as the voice of the robot Claptrap. Ariana Greenblatt, Haley Bennett, Edgar Ramirez, whole big cast.
How many people have died looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay. What?
Major issues.
It's been anticipated because of the pedigree. The video game is extremely popular. It's a video game series, and this project has been kicked around from studio to studio. But then Eli Roth completed it and released it.
Okay.
And he can do action and that kind of thing. Sure. We'll see what happens.
Step aside, bitches!
Well, there you go. Go and watch that today. The Borderlands trailer. It will be in movie theaters August 9th. So look for it. All right. Now, what happened with Madam Web?
What do you mean, what happened?
Well,
how did it get this far?
I want to know how it got make that movie. I want to know how that
How
happened.
the checks were written?
Somebody said, hey, there's a character. Why don't you do that? No. Here's let me do some quick explanation. Okay. All right, because people are confused, and apparently even people in Hollywood are confused. Apparently quite a few people who signed on to this thought they were doing a Marvel Studios movie. That's the problem. It's very confusing. Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and Spider-Man adjacent characters.
Okay. Right.
So any Spider-Man adjacent character they have the rights to.
Okay.
They don't make good movies, you see. Marvel
makes
the better movies because they
understand.
They get it,
yeah.
you know. And that's what happened, apparently, with some of the cast members of this movie. They thought they were doing a Marvel Studios film. By the time the contract was drawn and they signed, it was too late. And that is why Dakota Fanning fired her...
Dakota Johnson.
Or Dakota Johnson Fanning. Dakota Johnson fired her representation.
Yeah, because I was going to say, that's your manager's
It was during the production of the film. She fired them because you didn't tell me that.
She said, "Why does it say Sony everywhere?"
Yeah,
here?
what is this? Well, she didn't know. You know, she didn't bother to figure it out.
I saw in the news today that she said, I might watch the movies someday.
But so because this has failed so miserably, Sony is now scrambling. They don't know what to do. I don't understand why they don't just contact the people who make their animated Spider-Verse movies and put them in charge.
They know what they're doing.
Make them the Kevin Feige of your spider projects and go with that. So now they're backing off on everything that they've got, although Kraven the Hunter is in the can. It's ready to go for this summer, and it's apparently a different take. Aaron Taylor Johnson is involved. So anyway, but Marvel has decided that a reboot is in order as well.
Okay.
And so, like I said, the only projects you're going to get from Marvel this year are Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which will be huge. They're counting on that. You're also only going to get one more Marvel TV series, and that's the Agatha the Witch TV series. So that's all you're going to get, and some X-Men 97.
Are they theorizing that maybe people are just sort of, they've had too much of it?
I think that what they're doing is they're pulling a "How can we miss you if you won't go away" move, and so they're backing off.
What I mean, yeah.
And then they're counting on Deadpool and Wolverine to kind of reignite things, maybe reset things. Then they let you know about the Fantastic Four movie. Mm-hmm. They let you know about the cast. That got people kind of interested again.
Okay.
And then the X-Men 97, it's a revival of the 90s cartoon that was on Saturday mornings.
So an animated.
They've redone that one, got new episodes of that, and they teased with that. And both of these trailers, Deadpool and X-Men, huge views. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're doing, is they're backing off. And they've also said, we will no longer be doing this Avengers movie called Avengers Kang Dynasty. We are completely flipping the script on that. Our plans to move forward with Kang it's not going to happen.
What's his name? Major.
Because they severed ties with Jonathan Major.
Yeah.
So they seem to have things worked out. Let's see. One of the heads of Disney said that I've seen footage of the new Captain America movie. He's very excited about it.
Okay.
This is Captain America with Falcon as Cap. And that won't be until 2025 you're going to see that. He said that movie's done. But we're hanging on to it until then. So how can we miss you if you won't go away?
Okay.
Is basically what's going on. And finally this. Gina, I read this headline. I knew you'd be concerned.
Okay.
Paramount's Ferris Bueller spinoff. Mm-hmm. See right away. I could see your face.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a director, David Katzenberg.
Okay.
Don't panic.
Okay.
This is a terrible idea. It's called Sam and Victor's Day Off. It follows the two
the garage
guys who are watching the Ferrari.
Yeah, so it's them.
So it's a movie of them sitting around looking at a Ferrari.
No, they took it for a joyride.
They took it for a joyride.
Oh,
it's what happened on their joyride that is the plot of the movie.
That's not a whole movie.
It's not a whole movie.
That's not a whole movie.
I don't know. Maybe
it's a terrible.
A lot
idea.
can happen.
It's a terrible idea. I want to know who said yes to that dress. I want to know. There you go.
A crash eastbound SR201 Bangor Highway off to the right shoulder. Crash on the connector ramp northbound I-215 to go I-80 Redwood Road on the west side belt. And let me check our message stream. That's where you come in, Infiniteam. Who's the Infiniteam? It's you. I'm talking to you out there on the road.
You traffic hipsters.
Yeah, you need to let us know what you're seeing out there via text at 33986. Utah's caucus night is March 5th. Pick a party, show up for your values, find out how at womensworkutah.com and put March 5th on your calendar.
All right, here are the boner candidates you'll be voting for soon. Number 1. Because that's what neo-Nazis, because that's what neo-Nazis do. Boner candidate number 2, the Department of Labor is against children learning the value of work. And boner candidate number 3, to keep an eye on them because, they might want to get another one.
Boner of the day, big boy news, all coming up after these messages and a song. Stand by. Black Velvet Boutique, Gina.
Yeah, not just for Valentine's Day. You're like, why are you talking about Black Velvet Boutique? Because good sex is one of life's great pleasures all the time, not just at Valentine's Day. They create intimate connections in the bedroom. How do you do that? Well, you need good communication. Well, you might feel a little awkward about that. Black Velvet Boutique is here to help. Their expert staff is available to you as a sexual resource. They're available to answer your questions discreetly, provide suggestions, and you can feel safe there. The all-female staff at Black Velvet Boutique, they pride themselves on creating a judgment-free atmosphere. They are just here to help. Visit them and shop for intimate bedroom toys, lingerie, massage oils, and books. Enjoy the best parts about being an adult at Black Velvet Boutique. I've met the owners. They're women. It's all women that work there, women owners, locally owned and operated since the year 2000. They're open every day, 7 days a week, 595 South State Street in Clearfield. Or you can go online. It's blackvelvetboutique.com.
Get ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, direct from the haunted house near you, he's the guy who chased you out at the end. He wears,
I was scared.
He wears the hockey mask and threatens you with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
He is Chainsaw Guy.
Yeah. How are you? You're the little girl who wet her pants last time, aren't you?
You scare me every time, Chainsaw Guy.
Chainsaw Guy, it's good to see you. Of course, a lot of people know you as the guy who chases you out at the end of the haunted house with the chainsaw.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
And you've been very busy.
Yes, very busy. This is my big night.
But a lot of people don't know that Chainsaw Guy is also a very sensitive man, especially in the ways of love and relationships.
Thank you. And I am a licensed sex therapist.
Now, when
sex therapist?
When you are when you're doing your sessions, do you wear the mask? Or do you take it off ever?
The mask never comes off. I do change the jumpsuit occasionally. You like the new one?
Yeah, it's
yeah. Well, I thought it was time for a new set of overalls, and so I got the bright orange like a prison inmate.
That's very nice.
Yeah,
it adds to the menace.
Thank you.
All right, Chainsaw Guy, we have. I believe we indulge her every year. Chainsaw Guy, we have on the line. Tim is on the line, who's desperately in need of some of your love advice. Tim, go ahead and tell Chainsaw Guy exactly what's going on and ask your question when you're finished.
Sure, Chainsaw Guy. Well, my question is, I'm in a relationship with a girl named Aubrey right now, and everything's going swimmingly with her. She's great. The problem is with her mother. Her whole family is all LDS and very LDS, and I'm very not LDS.
Yes.
Her mother naturally has a problem with that.
Yeah.
I would like to know, Chainsaw Guy, what should I do?
Well, Tim, I just want to say, and I don't think it is, my parents are sorry in it. I don't think it is something. I had this thing, and again, and then mother and daughter, and you take both of them, that you attend those programs, for a lot of natural deterrent and a carry on talk, and I take the person over, and I stand the visitor. And I end up doing both.
So there you go, Tim.
Thank you very much.
I left out the part where, Chainsaw Guy has his chainsaw with him. It's all a key.
It's a pulling.
Part of the, it's a pulling. Yes, it is a pulling. Catherine. I don't blame you. Catherine, Chainsaw Guy is here. What is your question?
All right. I'm curious because I've been dating this guy a couple weeks.
Are you bi-curious?
Are you bi-curious is what he's asking?
That's what I said. Are you bi-curious?
No. I'm just curious because he keeps on saying that he wants to just love me to pieces.
Oh.
And I just don't know if I should let him do that because it kind of creeps me out.
Well.
So, Chainsaw Guy, what should Catherine do?
Well, Catherine, first of all, is to get a refrigerated truck, and then you do it in the thing. And then the second on D13, all the way, and then you turn, and then I turn it down a little bit, and then you just fly down, and then you go up for them, and then he can love more of you in more places.
There you go, Catherine. I hope that helped. Are we done, Gina?
One more.
I'm always up, although I'm very busy. I've got
he does have to go and sharpen the chainsaw blade.
Just one more.
All right.
What do you mean? It's not a chainsaw blade. It's a chain, you idiot.
Yeah. Brittany.
Hello.
Hi, Brittany.
Chainsaw Guy is here. What is your... tell us about your situation and then ask Chainsaw Guy what to do.
I have this friend that we've been friends for a long time, and I have a crush on him, and I just met his new girlfriend, and he wants me to honestly tell him what I think of her, and I can't stand her, and I want to tell him how I feel, but I just don't know. Chainsaw Man, what should I do?
Well, I just Brittany, whatever you're going to do, I think I do. And then go first. So you get her girlfriend, and then you go to him. And you really have a girlfriend. So what you need to do is try about to see what you think of her. And then you go in, and then I think you're not going to marry. And then if you think you're doing it, and then you want to do, and then I think you're trying to end up in a three-way.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Brittany, thank you.
No, thank you.
Can I go now? I've got a lot of people to scare.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sure.
Chainsaw Guy.
Are they performing now?
All right, yes. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chainsaw Guy. It's just amazing he makes time on Halloween.
Look at that. He's out the door. Look at that.
There he goes.
There he goes. Orange jumpsuit, his pulling chainsaw. There he goes.
Hockey mask.
For another year, gone.
Glad he got rid of the Husqvarna.
Yeah.
It's not as scary as a pulling because they're higher pitched.
Yeah. I remember when he started, all he could afford was an eager beaver.
Gosh. All right, 7:23 right now. Time for Boner of the Day. 3 news stories. These will be examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst. Which one deserves to be Boner of the Day for today, February 22, 2024. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
Can't buy it. Gotta win it. Radio from Hell Boner t-shirt.
Boner candidate number 1, because that is what neo-Nazis do. Jordan Green reports on extremists for the news website Raw Story, where his stories have included alleged neo-Nazis joining the U.S. military or protesting at drag shows. For the past few months, Mr. Green has worked on an investigation into a teenage gang that local police had linked to a spate of racist vandalism, including a brick attack on a Jewish center in Pensacola, Florida. As Mr. Green prepared to publish his story, neo-Nazis came to his house. Green's reporting had found that the Pensacola gang was part of a larger online network known as the 2119 or 2119 Blood and Soil Crew, with members operating in several states. On February 10th, 5 people connected to the 2119 appeared outside of his home in Greensboro, North Carolina, according to Green, as well as photos the group itself shared on social media. See, here we are at his house, they said. Some wore skull face masks, a common accessory for violent neo-Nazi groups.
You're not proud of what you're doing?
According to the photos they posted on Telegram. No, they want to be scary. A social media messaging app popular with far-right extremists on Telegram. One had a shirt with a skull and a messaging praising the Einsatzkommando German death squads in the Holocaust. Another held a sign aimed at Green. Freedom of press does not equal freedom from consequences, the sign said. Before leaving, the group held up lit flares and made Sieg-Heil gestures, Nazi salutes, as you can see in the photo at x96.com/live. Afterward, members of the group posed happily in a picture posted to social media at a marker for the Greensboro Massacre, the site where white supremacists fatally shot 5 labor organizers back in 1979.
So they're trying to intimidate journalists to not write about what they're doing? Because
you think?
That, and they're trying to recruit other kids to join their gang.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I think they would want you to write about it so they get more press.
Well, they want to do that on their own. They don't want you shining a bad light.
There. This is negative. This is not positive reporting. This is not, here's a fun group you can join, kids.
See, they figured out that not all publicity is good publicity.
Boner candidate number 1, because that's what neo-Nazis do. Here's boner candidate number 2. The Department of Labor, I think they're against children learning the value of work. The U.S. Department of Labor has accused a company that provides janitorial services for industrial slaughterhouses of illegally employing children to clean hazardous equipment in meat processing plants during overnight shifts. On Wednesday, the DOL announced that it had asked an Iowa federal court to issue a nationwide temporary restraining order and injunction against Fayette Janitorial Services, based in Somerville, Tennessee, to halt them from hiring minors illegally as the department continues their investigation. According to the filing, Fayette hired 15 children, some as young as the age of 13, for overnight shifts in Virginia and 9 in Iowa to clean dangerous equipment like head splitters and meat bandsaws, resulting in a severe injury to a 14-year-old worker in Virginia. The employment of children in hazardous occupations is an egregious violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act that should never occur, said Solicitor of Labor Seema Nanda in a press release. The Department of Labor continues to use every available legal resource to protect workers and child labor violations. We are working diligently with other federal agencies to combat child labor exploitation nationwide. I think the Department of Labor is just against children learning the value of work. That's what I think.
Yeah, kids are lazy these days. I'm glad these kids are working.
Owner candidate number 2.
These corporations love child labor because they can pay them less and no benefits.
Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. To keep an eye on them because they might want to get another one.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 coming up after this. Big Boy News and Opinioendo, brought to you by
Knives. NAFS wants their pocket knives in your pocket. Visit their store in Clearfield where they offer knife sharpening and engraving, or visit them at nafs.com/x96. You can use the code X96 for 20% off. That's nafs.com/x96.
Jimmy Kimmel has hinted that his late-night talk show will come to an end after his contract expires in 2025. I think this is my final contract, he's quoted as saying. I hate to even say it because everyone's laughing at me now, but each time I think that, and then it turns out to be not the case. I still have a little more than 2 years on my contract, and that seems pretty good. That seems like enough, he said in the Los Angeles Times. The Jimmy Kimmel Live host, who is 56 years old, explained that preparing to host the 2024 Oscars is also added to his desire to retire.
He's tired. Jimmy's tired.
Hard
Give him a break.
It's hard to yearn for it when you're doing it, he told the newspaper. Wednesday night, I was very tired. I had all these scripts to go through, and I needed to revise and rewrite all of these pitch ideas for the Oscars. And, I was literally nodding off at my computer. In those moments, I think, I can't wait till my contract's over. But then I take the summer off or I go on strike, and you start going, I really miss the fun stuff. Kimmel even reflected on what life would look like if he threw in the towel, joking that it all involves a lot more work. I don't exactly know what I would do. It might not be anything that anyone other than me is aware of. He explained that he has a lot of hobbies, including cooking and drawing. He says, I know that when I die, if I'm fortunate enough to die on my own terms in my own bed, I'm going to think, oh, I was never able to get to this and I was never able to get to that. I just know that about myself, he said. Natalie Klein. The State Board of Education member who represents and is running for re-election in District 9, defying calls for her to resign now. She is instead running for re-election, and her Republican opponent has already raised 11 times more money than she did during her entire 2020 race. Klein's latest contribution report shows that as of Wednesday afternoon, she had raised a little over $4,500 between Feb 17 and Feb 20. Challenger, another Republican, Amanda Bollinger, a longtime administrator in the Jordan School District, reported raising over $26,000. That's considerably more than Natalie Klein.
Mm-hmm.
The Democratic hopeful for the District 9 seat.
Hopeful.
Use the word hopeful
the
there.
Word hopeful's in
The
there.
Democratic stooge who... Man, I shouldn't be so
No,
negative
who
about
is
that.
it? Tell me about this person.
Who is this person?
This covers southern Salt Lake County and northern Utah County, is Will Shiflett.
You're our guy, Will. Get
Will
in there.
Shiflett. Come on, Will. Who oversees a business program at Salt Lake Community College. As of Wednesday, he had not released any contribution reports. Klein and Bollinger have raised additional funds that haven't been reported yet. During an election year, candidates have 31 days to report having received donations, or 7 days if money is received within the month before a convention, primary, or general election. Come on, Will, you can do it. Raise some money. Somebody write a Will Shiflett a big
please.
check, will you? So this is a story from Wendover. It's about 3 feet tall and weighs less than 200 pounds. No, it's not me.
Oh. Could you sense
that was my
one?
guess.
I mean,
could you
come
sense
on.
that one coming
Yes,
over?
I knew it.
That
You
was
could
my guess.
from this side of the room
Yeah,
over here.
I knew it was. Oh, it's you, Bill. But inside of it is a chemical factory that moves at 18,000 miles an hour.
Frog in a blender.
It's
no?
nicknamed Winnebago 1. It's Varda Space Industries' first capsule, and it landed Wednesday in Utah after spending 8 months orbiting Earth. Varda, co-founded by entrepreneur and West High School graduate Delian Asparov, I think is how you might say his last name, intends to make regular trips to low orbit to produce chemicals for pharmaceuticals in zero gravity.
That's fascinating.
This flight marks the first time a private company has manufactured a product in zero gravity in its own spacecraft. Asparov tweeted after the capsule touched down, promising, "We're going to do it again and again and establish the first industrial celestial empire." The capsule had been dropping out of orbit since Sunday night when the first of 4 burners were fired to slow it down. The last 2 burners were fired on Wednesday. Once in the atmosphere, a parachute deployed to bring the capsule to a soft landing at the Utah Test and Training Range. We're extremely thrilled, said the 30-year-old Asparov in a phone interview after the launch. He said the company's already planning its next launch in summer. This is really cool, and I think they're going to use the Test and Training Range as landing site, which is great.
Yeah.
And that, I think that brings in money to the state of Utah. And I don't know if it's manufacturing some kind of or some kind of pharmaceuticals in space. But let's see. Oh, this is bizarre. Not a day goes by that Laurice Williamson doesn't think about her daughter Morgan K. Harris. I haven't gone one day without crying because I miss my daughter, and the way she died was so horrific I can't even let my mind think about the things that could have prevented it, because it's just maddening. Harris was 27 years old when she and her dog were killed in a storage unit fire in Murray. This was a year ago in February.
I remember, yeah.
In a probable cause statement from February 2023, Murray police arrived at the scene, spoke with Harris's boyfriend, Alexander Paul Wardell, who admitted to closing the storage unit with the victim and her dog inside, placing a lock on the door, and leaving. Police said the fire broke out after Wardell left, killing the victim and the dog trapped inside. The storage unit was not opened until firefighters responded. Wardell was arrested for negligent homicide and kidnapping in connection to her death. But over a year later, charges have still not been filed against him. He's currently in prison, serving a sentence unrelated to her death. 2 counts of domestic violence-related criminal mischief, domestic violence-related aggravated assault, and possession of a weapon. But he's not been charged with that crime.
That's strange.
I don't understand that. Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill said the amount of time the screening process takes varies for each case. Factors that can affect the screening process include, but are not limited to, the evidence that is available, witnesses, additional investigation that prosecutors may request from law enforcement.
I mean, it could be that, yeah, he locked her in there, but they can't prove that the fire was his fault.
Yeah. I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to. They can charge him with. They were charging. The charge was like, I forget now. I've skipped through
involuntary manslaughter,
something like that. Ed Clark, the head of Boeing 737 MAX passenger jet program, is leaving the company.
Yep.
What a big surprise there.
Yeah.
And finally, this Costco.
Oh, I heard about this.
Has become a curator of sorts, perpetually introducing customers to new and exciting products. The latest edition, which debuted in the U.S. Southeast region on Valentine's Day, the Peanut Butter Cup Jar, produced by Jar Joy, have become a fast favorite among users on Instagram, featuring a chocolate cookie and cake crumble base, a layer of chocolate chip laced peanut butter cream, and a Swiss chocolate topping. The 4-ounce layered dessert jars seem to be a decadent twist on the old favorite. Other Jar Joy flavors. So you buy these, you just buy a jar, and you just get a spoon and strawberry cheesecake, cookies and cream cheesecake, and now the peanut butter cup jars.
That's sitting on the couch watching TV.
Yeah. I'll have 4 of each, please. Thank you.
There you go.
Well, if it's Costco, it's 8 of each.
Yes.
All right. Weather traffic.
Okay, so decreasing clouds, high of 47 today, and we gradually warm up between now and Sunday, where we could reach 60 degrees. Are you kidding me? But then things change first part of next week. Could even see some snow on the valley floor by Tuesday. So don't get excited for spring just yet. Looks like we have, and we need more snow. It's not time for spring yet.
Yeah.
Settle down, spring. Wait your turn. Traffic, we have a crash westbound Mountain View Corridor 78 South. It's off to the right shoulder. Crash on the connector ramp at northbound I-215 to go I-80 at Redwood Road on the west side belt. And let me check our message stream, see if you Infinity members have sent in any traffic alerts. That's your job, you know. If you see something, let us know. Text it to us, 33986.
All right.
All right, here we go with boner candidate number 3. To keep an eye on them because they might want to have another one.
Okay.
An Oklahoma bill that would create a database of every person who had obtained an abortion is one step closer to becoming law.
Oh, God.
The so-called Oklahoma Right to Human Life Act, authored by State Representative Kevin West, passed out of the Public Health Committee last week and moves to a full House vote next month. The bill would require the Oklahoma State Department of Health to create a database in which each patient is identified by a unique patient identifier to track how many abortions a patient has and when. That information and the identity of the patient could be released to authorities under a court order.
It's none of your business.
Oklahoma already outlaws all abortions except when necessary to save the life of a mother, without exceptions for rape or incest. Why are they doing this? Well, we've got to keep an eye on them because they might want to get another abortion.
Because they're fun.
Boner candidate number 3.
Jesus.
I don't know how you vote today.
Yeah, you've got, there's not a silly one in there.
Let's review the first 2.
Oh, I don't know. This neo-Nazi thing is kind of funny, isn't it?
No.
Because that's what neo-Nazis do. They appear outside of the house of this reporter, Jordan Green, because he is reporting on them for the website Raw Story, which is a pretty good news site if you're looking for news. Anyway, the neo-Nazis threatening him, essentially. Boner candidate number 2, the Department of Labor is against children learning the value of work. They are accusing a company that provides janitorial services for industrial slaughterhouses of employing kids as young as 13 to work on dangerous equipment, like the head-splitting machine. And boner candidate number 3, to keep an eye on them because they might want another one.
All right. Let's get to voting. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text. Text it to 33986. Quick and easy way to vote that way. Or if you'd like to speak to Katie, she'll take your live voice vote at 877-602-9696 there in the producer's booth. Or you can go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner of the Day, February 22, 2024. Click and vote. If you don't see that box, refresh your browser. It will appear. Click and vote. But you've only got 3 minutes. So choose wisely and vote early and vote often. It's Boner of the Day.
I didn't do anything this week. I was such a slug this weekend.
Sometimes you need a sluggy weekend.
Good for you.
I didn't think.
Good for you.
How do you turn that off?
Alcohol.
Genius switch. How do you turn that
off? Alcohol.
What kind? What was your alcohol of choice this weekend?
Anything I could get. Whatever was handed to me, whatever was handy. It didn't matter.
It didn't matter?
No, didn't matter.
You weren't discriminating about? No.
Why?
I'll take some of that, sure.
Is it good wine? It's good enough.
Yeah. I'll have some of that. You bet.
And you were just handed things?
Went out to dinner.
That's the way it should be.
Went out to dinner on Valentine's Day.
You did? You did that going out on Valentine's?
Yeah.
That's brave.
Yep. Had a nice dinner at Copper Onion, and pork belly should be one of the major food groups.
I agree.
It really should be.
What was the pork belly on, or was it?
No, it was just pork belly.
It was just out there being pork belly.
Pork belly with some cherries and some Brussels sprouts and turnips. Just kind of as a little
side dish,
a little starter to the evening, and then
nice.
Oh, man,
did you take in your surroundings? Did you look at the other people that chose to go out on Valentine's Day?
I
See
did.
How in love they are.
I did.
Not?
There was. It was. It was very busy. Copper Onion was very busy. I assume all the restaurants were very busy on Saturday. Did you go out on Saturday?
No.
So it was very busy. To the table to our left, two guys out on a Valentine's date.
Guys?
And then a table across from us, a guy and two girls. And they kept, they were quite annoying. Because the guy kept hanging a spoon on his nose. You know how you do? You take a spoon and
little kid.
Yeah, and you hang it off the edge of your nose, or he would put it across his nose, and then he would insist on one of the girls taking a picture of him. And this kept going on, and then the spoon would slip off, and then he would just laugh uproariously.
Were these 12-year-olds?
And they thought it was funny too.
No one's ever done this before.
And it kind of went on, seemed to go on and on and on and on. And then they had the waiter take a picture of the three of them together.
Can you believe this?
It was just.
This has never happened.
And I kept trying to think, now, what kind of a Valentine's date is this?
Threesome date?
I guess. He was,
polygamy date?
Maybe he was paying for them.
That could be.
Could have been.
That would explain why they were laughing at the spoon show.
Yeah, the spoon on the nose.
They were
hilarious.
paid.
Hilarious. Spoon on the nose. Yep. Man, this is good. Good stuff. Good stuff. And those were the only... But mostly I was just fixated on my sweetheart sitting across the table from me as we enjoyed a delicious meal.
I'm glad you did. 6.
All right, 7:46. Time to award Boner of the Day.
Yes, it is, but I do have bad news about the Jar Joy peanut butter cup jars. The closest location, Costco location that we could find those is in Cordova, Tennessee.
Come on!
I'm sorry.
You make that a boner candidate tomorrow? I think that's...
We've got the biggest Costco in the nation here. Come on.
However, I think you can order them online directly from Jar Joy. They have many flavors, including peanut butter marshmallow, salted caramel brownie, Mississippi mud pie.
I want it right now.
I know. All right, it's time to announce the winner of the boner voting.
I can get a gun right now, but I can't get that.
That's true. Sorry. Brought to you. Brought to you in part by Pot Roast.
Oh.
Pot roast with mashed potatoes and gravy.
Nice.
And Gracie's open daily for lunch and dinner, now serving brunch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday till 3 p.m. Enjoy Gracie's award-winning heated patio, live music 4 nights a week. Gracie's located at the corner of 3rd Southwest Temple. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Neo-Nazis get 63 votes. That's number 1. Number 2, the Department of Labor, employing underage people to work on dangerous machinery. 74 votes. But the winner, again, boner candidate number 3, with 202 votes, Oklahoma. They want a database of every person who has obtained an abortion.
That's your boner of the day for today, February 22. 2024. I'm sorry. It's been, we've just started the year and it's exhausting already.
It is.
So that's your boner of the day for today. It qualifies to be boner of the week. Happens tomorrow at 9:50 with Dave the Flower Guy. All right. Angela Romero.
State legislator Angela Romero. Good morning, Ms. Romero. How are you?
It's almost to the end, so I don't know how I feel.
You get a vacation at the end of this, right?
I went to Madonna this past weekend in Seattle, so that was my mini vacation.
Oh,
that's nice.
Now, Ms. Romero, the last time we spoke, you had sent us a list of things that you wanted to talk about, and I don't see that here today. I don't have an email about that. So why don't you just tell us what you want to talk about?
Well, I serve on the education committee, and one of my colleagues presented a bill the other day on having chaplains in schools.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And so the Satanic Temple called in and said they'd love to be one of the chaplains.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do.
Oh, you got my call. Okay.
It was really funny because they called in and we couldn't see their face, and usually we make people turn on their camera.
Uh-huh.
And then she started talking, and I just watched all my colleagues' faces. It was priceless.
Hi, this is the Satanic Temple calling.
Well, I mean,
this is what religious schools are for. If this is important to you and your kids, you can send them to a religious school.
It's
exactly.
It does smack of indoctrination. Mm-hmm. It really does.
Because a chaplain, anyway.
Yeah.
What? So how did that bill fare?
Yeah.
It actually passed, and myself and Representative Moss were the only ones to vote against it.
Oh, my hell.
That's just passed out of committee, though, right?
Yeah, it just passed out of committee, so it's on the board. But then the next morning, which was yesterday, I had to sit in committee and listen to a resolution on how socialism and communism are evil.
Well,
okay.
They do know about the fire department and roads, right?
Social Security Administration, things like that.
Yeah.
And they do know that they're different things. Do they?
Yes. And I asked the sponsor if I could add in authoritarianism and totalitarianism, and he said no.
Absolutely not, because I'm in charge.
About Christofascism. I've been watching, what's been going on up there, and every year it seems like it gets worse and worse. But why is it that this year is especially? I gotta down my back. It feels especially bad this year.
I've served here for 12 years. It's my 12th year, and I've never seen it lean so partisan in my life. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had to register for re-election if we're going to run for re-election before the session started. And so I think that played a huge role in it. But I also think people in Utah need to wake up and see who their elected officials are.
I think all they do is they think he's got an R next to his name, or I know him from the Ward or something like, and that's as far as they go.
And it's he.
And it's he, always.
Yeah.
And that's my call to action to the people of Utah is to say, if you don't like what's happening up here, and I say it all the time, even if that's me, get out and vote. Because I know a lot of people have lost hope, but if we lose hope, there's no future. And so I really want people to reevaluate who their elected officials are and vote. Because I know a lot of people that are like, why should I vote? And I'm like, look at the Utah legislature. That's why you should
look
vote.
what happens when you don't.
Yeah. I am so grateful for legislators like you, Angela, who you say that you've been there 12 years. And it's a slog for you, I'm sure, going up against this stuff. And I'm so glad you're there. We need more people like you.
Could you?
And I don't want to villainize all my colleagues, because as a Democrat, you have to have Republican support in order to pass your legislation. Yeah. And as you all know, sexual assault, domestic violence, and those particular issues are my passion, and I wouldn't be able to pass them without my colleagues. But sometimes I look at them and I'm like, why are you running that bill?
Yeah. I don't understand as how somebody has said to me in the past, Bill, you really ought to run for office. And I said, I couldn't do it because I'd just be standing up on the floor and going, you people are idiots. And that would get me nowhere.
Nope. You have to be.
We all have different passions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Some people it's learning. Others.
I ask you every time we talk to you, Angela. Tell me something good that's happening up there. Something we can be happy about, proud of.
Well, my one of my bills passed the House floor. So I'm happy.
Well,
so
good.
You're happy.
Which one?
Which one?
Oh,
it's a polygraph exam. So you can't give a polygraph exam to a victim of sexual assault, and this is banned in 25 states. So then we would be number 26, and it would help us with more funding and at a federal level for grants.
I don't understand polygraph tests, why they're used at all anywhere, because they've just been.
They're not admitted as evidence in a court of law.
I know personally someone who lied through his teeth on a polygraph test and passed it.
Exactly. They're easy. You can fool them.
And we had a situation here in Utah, and the Tribune and I'm forgetting the other organization uncovered it, where an individual had been sexually abused by his counselor, and Doppel, which is a state agency, asked this victim to take a polygraph test. He did, and it said he was being deceptive. And then his abuser went on to abuse more men who were going to him for counseling, and that wasn't uncovered for 2 years. So that's one of the real reasons I'm running this bill as well.
To go back to that chaplain in public schools, it's even worse because the bill says unlicensed volunteer chaplains.
This could be a problem.
Like
just some guy.
Yeah. I'm
exactly.
I'm from the Church of the Subgenius, and I'm here to help.
I think that's why the Satanic Temple called in. I think that's their whole purpose for bills like this.
Well, Representative Kira Birkeland really nailed it, though. She said, I don't want somebody who professes their loyalty to Satan in our schools.
Well, then don't run this bill.
They've run this bill in Texas, actually, and this has been their way of letting go of trained social workers and school counselors.
Exactly. Because we don't want to actually help. We don't.
I mean, our public schools, I admire our teachers and those administrators because they go through a lot. I mean, Ken Ivory still just passed on sensitive materials. So 3 school districts decide they don't like a book. One of my favorite books when I was in high school, The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, is always one of those books that they try to counsel.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm telling the people of Utah to wake up and see who their elected officials are, and this election cycle, get out to vote.
Amen.
So, being a West Sider, Ms. Romero, well, how are you standing on this baseball stadium thing and the Power District and all of that?
I have mixed feelings about it. So, as I tell people, if I was a Major League Baseball team, why would I want to come to Utah when we just passed legislation that's anti-DEI, that's trans, and so I don't know if we do this investment, and I think it'd be a great thing for my neighborhood. I think people have mixed feelings about it, but would anyone really want to come here?
Oh, yeah, the players.
Well, and I'd just like to point out the obvious, and that is if these millionaires and billionaires knew they could make money building a stadium, then why don't they build stadiums?
Why do they ask for
because
tax
they
money?
know that they're not going to make money building the stadium. That's why they ask us to pay for it. You know?
And that's the tricky question right there that we'll be discussing. And so I need to go read that bill a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the people in my neighborhood that I've heard from all want to see it happen.
They do.
They do.
All right. Now, I guess the way they've decided that they could finance that $900 million is not take taxpayer money directly. They would take out-of-state hotel
tourism taxes and hotels and rental cars.
Yeah. So put taxes on a little more tax on those things to do it. So.
And I think that's what swayed many people in my district, but we're still going to have those conversations, and so I still want to hear from people. So if you live in Glendale, call me up and let me know.
All right.
Okay. All right, Angela Romero, thank you. Democrat in the Utah State Legislature, one of a handful.
And Angela, you're probably aware of this. I think the ACLU is behind it. Between 3 and 6 at the Capitol, it's a read-in event.
Oh.
So
yeah, I saw that.
If you want to make your voice known about the whole book banning thing, go and join that.
Yeah, I think people should come up. And I want to remind you all, I'm the minority leader as well.
That's
and
right.
so my job is to make sure my caucus passes bills. And so I'd love to see us grow from 14 to at least 20.
There you go.
All right.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, talk to you later.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, I haven't had a report from UDOT in about an hour, so I'm not going to tell you about any of these accidents. They're probably all cleared up by now. Everything's probably moving just great. But if you see something that's not great that you think other friends of the program need to know about, you can text us 33986.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll take a break. We'll be back. KXRK Provo. Don't forget, we got Beat Gina coming up. Stand by for that as well. Therapy Transformed.
Really great people at Therapy Transformed. They can help you if you've been living with mental illness, mental health conditions. So many people today suffering from anxiety. Anxiety is a big thing. Depression, grief, panic attacks. Perhaps it's a postpartum depression. Maybe you're dealing with a terminal illness, you yourself or someone in your family. The team of licensed therapists at Therapy Transformed committed to being ethical. They're evidence-based. They have a holistic form of treatment, and they also want to provide a safe, empowering space for you. Their services include virtual and in-person mental health counseling options for individuals, relationships, and groups. For people suffering from treatment-resistant depression, they do offer ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, mindful movement sessions, and more. Therapy Transformed, an all-female team of licensed therapists. They're an LGBTQIA+ affirming practice. Go to therapytransformed.com for more.
Well, Punk, let's get to the movie review, shall we?
There we go.
That's why nothing to spend in the summer in and out of health facilities, like 18 Fingers of Death.
Tell us who stars in this opus.
Well, this is the only movie that's better than 17 Fingers of Death.
Yeah.
It stars James Liu.
Oh, so this is a sequel then?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's Buford, the down-and-out action hero.
James Liu, okay.
Okay.
And we got Maurice Patton.
Yeah.
He's Ronald Mack, the college student and wannabe director.
Okay.
Lisa Arturo.
Nope.
She's Sushi Q, the Honorable Fortune Cookie CEO.
Okay.
Pat Morita.
Oh, well, there's a name I recognize. Arnold from Happy Days.
So I know this movie's at least a year old, right?
Exactly. Well, I noticed he's got lots of others that are in post-production.
Oh, God. All right.
He's the humble restaurateur. We got Lorenzo Lamas.
Lorenzo
Lamas, yeah.
He's a Antonio Bandana, the singing martial artist.
Okay.
Oh.
Robin Shue.
This sounds like just a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's Jackie Chong.
Yeah.
And we got Charlie George Brown as Chuck Snorris.
Chuck Snorris. Okay.
Oh, God.
And Kurt Graves as Steven Seafood.
Okay. Tell us the plot of 18 Fingers of Death.
Well, as far as I can tell, this guy starred in 803 of the finest action movies ever filmed. But he's come up with a script for what could be his breakout role. But when the producers back out and pull his funding, he's forced to pull out the "Will Work for Kung Fu for Money" sign and sell his Kung Fu movie memorabilia in order to get enough money to make a movie in 1 week for the Sundance Film Festival.
God.
And they managed to get like about 90 minutes out of this?
Yep.
Jeez.
A full 90 minutes.
All right, have you got a scene from 18 Fingers of Death?
Yeah, I thought I'd give you a little Pat Morita.
Okay.
Oh, good. Pat Morita.
So here we go.
Mr. Lee, listen, I've always been wanting to know, do you have Chinese Jews? Chinese Jews? Oh, very sorry to taste no Chinese Jews. We only have the apple Jews and the orange Jews.
Oh, man.
Jeez. This is worse than I even dreamed.
Yep. What are you giving this movie, Punk?
I'm actually giving it 3.5 Prozac.
What? It's the pills talking, Punk.
It's the prednisone. I think it's the prednisone. For digging up guano, lining up to fight. You can only fight the good guy one at a time.
That's
you
right.
have to circle him.
Yeah.
Feathered hair, the drunken bastard, Bong Fu the series, a wicker basket beaten, bow tie in the kitchen, cowboy Fu, a fallen in love montage, an attack midget, and yes, learning to speak out of sync.
Learning to speak out of sync. All right, and what junk food are you going to have while you watch this movie?
I think you need to gather a few Lynn Wilson's meat and cheese burritos with extra cheese and onions. You can mix in the Durkin's French fried onions as you need. A nice meatball hero, some Rainbow Twizzlers, a bunch of Starburst, Reese's Pieces, a bag of Honorable Fortune cookies, and, yes, a nice cold canister of Lost Energy drink.
All right, Punk.
Wow, sounds lovely.
For those of you that are lost.
All right.
18 Fingers of Death.
The movie that's better than 17 Fingers of Death.
All
Yeah,
right.
Muhammad in Bluffdale texted us.
Bluffdale.
Yeah.
Bluffdale.
I'm not even going to focus on Muhammad.
No,
there
it's-
would be
it's-
another one.
It's in Bluffdale.
Carrie, you mentioned this when we were talking
Yes.
to Angela Romero. Let Utah Read is hosting a read-in at the state capitol today. Here are the exact details.
Yes.
It's their second annual read-in at the Utah State Capitol at 3 p.m. today. The event will feature several speakers, including Utah students, authors, a local queer bookstore owner, and a legislator. This year's read-in comes on the heels of many legislative actions that are censoring, attempting to censor what kids can read or not read. Let Utah Read is a coalition of Utahns, educators, parents, librarians, and organizations dedicated to preserving our freedom to choose what we read. A read-in to support Utah's right to read. Today, 3 to 6 p.m. at the state capitol.
Two things about this event. One, I heard a rumor, just a rumor, I don't know for sure, that the Beehive Band Bookmobile will be there, passing out books that are on the list to be banned. And secondly, I think
communists.
Yeah, I think it was the ACLU that sent me that email. Hey, when you send us emails like that, do it with more than 24 hours notice.
Yeah,
so we can.
I got
talk
that
about
with
it?
less than 24 hours notice. I got that one.
Yeah, that was from Aaron Welker at the ACLU, and it came to you at 3:40 yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, because I can't
We can only do so much with short time.
With that short turnaround, we could have been talking about it all week. But
the House Bill 29, Sensitive Materials Review Amendments, and Angela Romero mentioned that if like three school districts decide that a book is horrible, then they'll just take them out of all the libraries.
So no local control over what is in your kids' library.
Exactly.
Caitlin Mahoney, the owner of the Under the Umbrella bookstore, that's the queer bookstore. A couple of Utah students, Theodora Soder and Bhavika Malik, and Representative Brian King is the legislator who will be there.
Who has my vote.
Oh, also authors. Julia Lyon, author of A Dinosaur Named Ruth. Well, that can't be good.
That sounds scary.
I bet it involves sexual identity. Christian McKay Heidecker, author of Scary Stories for Young Foxes. And there you go.
Just be glad your kids are reading a damn book.
3 to 6 today at the state capitol, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
All right. Well, there you go.
The library, the school library was a great place for me when I was in high school, particularly because I would get thrown out of class all the time.
You're out of here already.
For being disruptive or whatever. And that's where they would send you, to the library. You'll go spend the rest of the day in the library.
Like it's a punishment.
Yeah. I'd say, oh, okay.
No, please don't throw Bill Allred in the library. Please.
And it is where I got a first look at. There was a book of poetry, and I still have it. I bought my own copy, but I saw it on the shelf, and it was an anthology of modern American poems written by beatnik poets and the like, and from poems from the 50s and 60s.
Well, that one's gone.
And it had Howl by Allen Ginsberg in it, which I picked up and sat there and read and went, wow. And it changed my outlook on things and my opinions, and probably in a way that the Utah State legislators, it changed my opinions in a way that they would hate.
The books that end up on library shelves, and we've had librarians on our show. We have a couple different favorite librarians, friends of the Radio from Hell show.
I love all librarians, except the ones that go, shh.
But they go to school to learn and become experts on books that should be on library shelves. Those books don't just end up there. They're selected. Each book that you see in a library, there's a reason it's there that's been studied and thought about. And there's books that are good for certain ages, and the librarians know this.
This really gets to the point of when I say that book of poetry, and it's a book of. I don't know, there are probably 200 or 300 poems in it by various poets and artists and so forth. It changed my thinking about things. And it changed my thinking in a way that they don't like.
That scares the hell out of them.
They don't.
But give me an example how it changed your thinking.
Well, it's hard to be specific about that because it's philosophically.
Is that poem long? Like, could we read it?
Howl, it's very long. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness. Starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn, looking for an angry fix. That's sort of what it's, But
what
long.
it does is it shows you a larger world with different ideas and thoughts and philosophies, and that scares the hell out of them.
See, I want my kids to have that.
Yes, you do, because you are a thoughtful person.
I don't want my kids to just go along with what I think and say and do. I want them to find out for themselves.
I kind of feel bad that my kids grew up without any religious training whatsoever, because not that I want them to be religious people, but because there's so much the foundations of literature and art and the foundations of lawmaking has a great basis or great foundation in religion.
You can have an understanding of religion without being religious.
Exactly. That's exactly. I'm glad that I've read most of the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to know the classics, the references.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of good, stories in there that teach you lessons. Yes.
And I am glad that I've read the Bhagavad Gita, or parts of it. Anyway.
Exactly.
I'm glad that I've
But
read...
see, they don't want you to think about that one, though.
I'm glad that I've read parts of the Quran.
They don't want you to think about that one, though.
No.
But isn't it important, parents, if your kids are growing up in this world where there are people who the Quran, that is their religious book, for your kids to understand, they don't have to convert to that religion, but understand when you're going to be interacting with people in the wider world, not just be in your little bubble here.
But you see, if they read the Bhagavad Gita, it may make them question everything else. Is what they're worried about. And I'm like, so what?
I tried to become a Buddhist. It was too hard.
Can I get a religion for the lazy,
too
please?
hard.
Something for the lazy. You'd think Buddhism would be the one for the lazy. It's just a lot of sitting around and thinking.
Tibetan Buddhism is really hard. Zen is maybe a little lighter, but
here's a text from our friend Librarian. Yes, collection development is a long process. Lots of people involved, hours of studies of books, reviews, audience analysis. Books don't just end up there.
But that can be undone because of 3 people.
Mm-hmm. I don't like
according to this
on
new
my
law.
Facebook page. One of my Facebook friends said this is a dirty book. This is a nasty book.
And that's all that it takes. They don't have to do any research into it or anything. It's just I saw on Facebook that, and that's all it takes.
I'm not glad that I've read some of the writings of the Marquis de Sade.
That didn't make you a better person.
Well, it didn't. It didn't make me want to be. It didn't make me want to become a sadist.
You mean you can read things that don't change you, that don't make you want to do things?
Yes, you can.
It's just something to add to your collective knowledge.
I've read things that I think are hideous.
Yeah.
But it didn't. I don't think it turned me into a murderer.
But these people are convinced that if a kid reads a story about a gay couple, that's all it's going to take. One book.
Well,
my question to them is, how many straight books has the gay kid read
and not turned them straight?
I don't know. I don't know if they're necessarily afraid that it will turn a straight kid gay. I think that they're concerned that it will make straight kids more tolerant of gay people.
I've overheard them talk. And what they're convinced is...
Oh, the grooming stuff?
...is that this is trendy.
Yeah.
Kids are doing it because it's trendy. It's not because they truly feel that way. Yeah, it's so trendy they want to get beat up. Mm-hmm. That's how trendy it is. No, it's not. These things happen. When did you realize that you were straight? I asked them.
What's the date or book that you read that made you...
What's the book that made you straight?
I just always been this way.
Well, exactly. So have they.
I've always been.
They have always been this way.
I experimented well.
Whoa! It was theater.
I was in the theater. All right. Anyway. You know. But I went, nope, it's not for me.
All right.
It was like Buddhism. It was too
Too hard?
It was too.
It is
too
a lot
hard
of work,
to be gay.
It's a lot of work.
I would turn gay, but it's too hard.
Only one accident to tell you about. Crash southbound I-215 west, 7th north in Salt Lake. It's off to the right shoulder. Got some slowage northbound I-15 coming through Midvale and Murray. I don't have an accident being reported there, so I'm not sure what that slowage is about. Maybe you know what it's about. You can text us and let us know, 33986. The State Room presents bringing you music memories. Don't miss the talented singer-songwriter Michael Now with Natalie Jane Hill. Live Friday, February 23rd at the State Room. Tickets and showtimes available at thestateroompresents.com.
I don't know if anyone has ever compared Buddhism and homosexuality before.
But they're both hard.
They're just too hard.
Everything is hard. You know what's hard? Beat Gina. Because it's Kyle MacLachlan Twin Peaks trivia.
And it should be hard because the prize is good.
Yes.
This is tickets to the Kilby Block Party. The whole damn thing. 10th, 11th, and 12th.
It's a 3-day pass.
At the Utah State Fair Park, featuring bands like LCD Sound System, the Postal Service, Vampire Weekend, Wu-Tang Clan, and many, many more.
Yes. 877-602-9696. Call in now. I won't lie. This is some tricky trivia.
It should be.
It's Twin Peaks trivia because it's Kyle MacLachlan's birthday. So Twin Peaks trivia to get that party package ticket thing going. 877-602-9696. We'll play after some messages and a song.
X96.
This trip I took out to Irvine over our 4th of July holiday.
Irvine, California.
Yes, to see my nieces. And I got to do stuff. I got to introduce them to things that blew their minds, that they had not been introduced yet.
Like
dipping French fries in a shake.
Oh.
They'd never done that before.
Okay.
Taught them to smoke.
And they were like, ooh, look at that. And then by the end of the meal, it was like, can I put my grilled cheese in there? I don't know. Go ahead and try it.
Science experiment.
Ooh, what we learned is that if you dip anything in melted ice cream, it's delicious.
Right.
Sure. So that was that lesson. And then we introduced them to the movie The Princess Bride.
How old are they?
The oldest one is 8.
That's good, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the youngest one is like 5.
It's like the perfect age.
Might go
movie.
A little over the 5-year-old.
Yeah, the 5-year-old, although she was fascinated by it. Although there was one point where she did run out of the room, and that's when Wesley's put in the machine that sucks his life out of him.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying. She ran out of the room. The youngest one ran out of the room, and the oldest one was like, no.
You know, when I saw that movie in my 20s, I ran out of the room.
But they were kind of jaded about it before we started the movie.
Why?
Like, oh, what do you? We've never heard of this movie. We don't know. You know.
Right.
So we started up, and they're like, whatever. And then they started getting into it. Really started getting into it, and you could tell because there was the point in the movie where it's a dream sequence kind of a thing. It's like a fake out where you believe that Prince Humperdinck marries Buttercup. I present to you my new bride, Buttercup, and she comes out, and that's when the oldest girl stood up and went, no, she doesn't marry him. She marries Wesley. Now, you remember in the movie at that point, Fred Savage does the same thing to his grandpa who's reading him the book.
Well, right. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
No, you're reading it wrong, Grandpa. At the exact same time, they both did that.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie. That's towards the end-ish,
toward the beginning.
Right? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
it was fascinating to watch them because then we had to stop it halfway through to go to supper, had to go to dinner, and they were very upset because they're like, well, then what happens? You know, we're at dinner. You know,
you have to wait.
Now what happens is, well, you have to wait, and then they began. Another thing I taught them is, you know, if you watch the movie, your questions are usually answered. That was the other thing that they learned because I'm like, you know, they were, well, now where is this? And like, if you wait, the guy will tell you the answer to your question. He will tell you the answer to your question. And sure enough, so by the end of the movie, I mean, after we got back from dinner, toward the end of the movie, they were quiet. They were just laser focused on the screen, and they loved this movie.
Yeah, I was just looking at the cast here, and it's interesting. Robin Wright, the princess, she's so beautiful in a very pure, simple way. You know,
it's
what happened?
Casting.
What happened to her?
Did you see her in Wonder Woman?
No,
she was in Wonder Woman. No. She was one of the Amazonian warriors.
You know, all I've been seeing.
And she still looks great.
All I have her in my mind is from House of Cards.
House of Cards.
House of Cards, and she's just a ice cold bitch in that.
Well, I'm glad you're teaching them about the questions thing early, because I know people who are well into their adulthood who still, to this day, will point at a movie and be like, "What? Why is this happening? Who is he? The bad guy?" And we're 5 minutes in. Do you want to know every single answer to this thing already? It's such a pet peeve of mine.
Princess Bride, of course, is really it's the whole movie is powered by Mandy Patinkin, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, absolutely.
But my name is Inigo Montoya.
The biggest laugh though that they got was this one.
Knowledge.
That was that got them.
Yeah.
They just laughed out loud when
Christopher Guest.
No, it's Peter Cook, and he's in this big.
Oh yeah,
he looks like the Pope. You know, he's got all the ceremonial and the hats and everything, and And he's very,
Well,
commanding looking.
His character is called, I'm just looking at the cast list here, Peter Cook as the impressive clergyman.
Exactly, And it's, there's the organ and da-da-da, and he turns around slowly and has a very, not a stern look, but a very serious look. And then the first thing he says is, knowledge. And it just killed him. Just killed him. They died.
Oh, I forgot Billy Crystal, too, yeah.
Oh, they love that part too.
Yeah, it's great. The whole movie is just, Mandy Patinkin's coming to town, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
I've got to get tickets.
Mhm.
I saw him live on stage at the Capitol Theater some years ago.
Mhm.
He sings show tunes and does really nice, funny patter, and talks about The Princess Bride a little bit. He's just wildly entertaining.
Mhm.
Man, he's good.
Well, I remember we were telling him about the movie. He said, "Well, this movie, I think you'll like it. It's got giants, it's got pirates, it's got sword fights, it's got rodents of unusual size, it's got all of these things." He said, "Well, we've seen that cartoon." It's not a cartoon. You have not seen this. This is, and I think that's what blew them away is that it was live action. It wasn't a cartoon.
Yeah,
probably added to it, but the movie still holds up.
Yep.
Carrie Elwest's book, As You Wish, about being the impossible movie to make, is apparently a good book, and cute stories about Andre the Giant.
Oh, yeah. Hey, see, I got the cast list here, and he's not in it.
Andre the Giant?
Yeah. I don't know why.
He's
in The Princess Bride?
Yeah. He's not on the cast list. I know he's in the movie.
I was going to say, he should be. He's a major role.
Oh, there he is. It's his. They've got his full name, and so I didn't. Andre Rene Rousimo.
Oh, that's
Rousimo.
Not his professional name, Andre the Giant.
And if you're looking at the same Google search cast list as I am, everybody has like a nice profile view of their face, except for Andre the Giant. It's a photo of him standing next to somebody much, much smaller.
Frame of reference. All right.
Mm.
8:23. Beat Gina, is it brought to you by?
X96 welcomes the Kilby Block Party to the Utah State Fair Park this May 10th through the 12th, featuring bands and artists like LCD Sound System, the Postal Service, Vampire Weekend, Wu-Tang Clan, and many, many more. For contest details, ticket links, go to x96.com.
This one goes out to all the people who love Beat Gina. I'm health and beauty expert and professional announcer Johnny Ola.
Wow.
Presenting the link between health and beauty. Fortify yourself against the rigors of winter. With bounding health and strength, the cold will have no terrors for you. Try Pabst Malt Extract, the best tonic. It brings color to the cheek, brilliancy to the eye, and health and strength to the body. Take a wine glass full 4 times a day and know the joy of sound sleep at night and perfect health by day.
4 times a day.
Pabst Malt Extract, for sale by all druggists everywhere. And now, here's a man who knows his malt extract and how to host a game show.
Well,
Kerry Jackson.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome.
Johnny Ola, ladies and gentlemen, professional game show announcer.
And health and beauty expert.
And health and beauty expert. Right. So many titles. Let's see. The randomizer has picked a contestant. Gina, you'll be going against Tyler today.
Hi, Tyler.
Tyler.
Hello.
Tyler's very happy. Tyler, now if you beat Gina, you're going to get those Kilby Block Party tickets. But if she beats you, what are you prepared to do in her name?
I'm going to adopt a dog.
Really?
Adopt a dog?
Do you have the dog picked out already?
Yes.
Will the dog be your son?
I believe so, yeah. He's going to be a good boy.
Okay.
All right. He's such a good boy.
We're going to toss a coin to see who goes first. It will give you an advantage in the game. You call it heads or tails.
Tails.
All right, coin. Boom. Heads, Gina Barberi.
All right, you're one step further away from these Kilby Block Party tickets.
All right, so the first question is for Gina to answer exclusively. If she gets it right, she gets the point. If not, Tyler, I will ask you the same question. You get a chance to steal that point away, and we'll go back and forth till one of you gets 3 points. Twin Peaks trivia, because today is Kyle MacLachlan's birthday. Because he played Agent Cooper, of course.
I was going to ask.
Yes. All right, so the first question, Gina.
Okay.
Jules Heimovitz
Okay.
was the president and COO of Spelling Entertainment while Twin Peaks was on.
Okay.
He was one of the people
Yeah.
in charge of the show. All right. Says that during the show's run, the first season, he got a call from the financier Carl Lindler demanding to know who killed Laura Palmer.
Okay.
Lindler told Heimovitz that he was asking not for himself, but for who? Was it one, show creator David Lynch?
I had no idea.
I forgot who it was. Was it the aliens? Are there aliens? Was it number 2, Elmer J. Fudd, millionaire? He owns a mansion and a
And
yacht.
a yacht, yes.
3, President of the United States George Bush, who was in turn asking for Mikhail Gorbachev. Or 4, David Lynch's mother. My son won't tell me who killed Laura Palmer, that little poop. Told you it was some hard questions.
I don't think any of those. I'm going President Bush.
That is correct.
Is it really?
Gorbachev called Bush and said, could you call the people? And
That can't be true.
true. It's absolutely.
It's such a fun impression to do.
is. All right. So there you go. Okay. Tyler, question for Tyler, you there? Okay. Question for you.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Madchen Amick, an actress, originally auditioned for the role of Donna Hayward, which ultimately went to Laura Flynn Boyle. But the creators of the show were so impressed by Madchen, they did what? Was it 1, created the role of Shelley specifically for her, 2, let her sing the Twin Peaks theme song Falling, 3, gave the log lady a secret first name of Madchen Log Lady, or 4, gave her the secret to the meaning of life. Nothing beats a taste sensation when maple syrup collides with ham. That is the meaning of life.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with 2.
They let her sing the Twin Peaks song Falling? No.
That's a good guess.
Good
Gina?
guess.
They create a character based on her, for her.
There we go.
She was my favorite character on the show.
It's 2-0, Tyler. Gina has 2 points, and Tyler, she controls the question, so you might just be saying bye-bye to Block Party.
I can smell the Kilby Block Party tickets right now.
Gina, in Germany, broadcasting network RTL canceled the show due to bad ratings caused by what? Was it 1, the English to German translation program kept malfunctioning and putting out gibberish? Well, I mean, it is David Lynch we're talking about, so it's easy to... 2, they took offense when Bobby Briggs said, I thought you Germans were always on time. Was it 3, Heidi, the German waitress at the Double R Diner, kept saying Zig Heil instead of Ja sure? Or 4, rival network Sat 1 told the audience the identity of Laura's murderer before the first episode aired?
One.
The English to... No, there
No?
was no... At that time, there were no programs for that.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Well, that's why it's a game show.
All right. And now, Tyler, you have a chance to crawl back into the game here.
Okay, what are the options again?
Okay. Not number 1. Number 2, they took offense to Bobby Briggs saying, I thought you Germans were always on time. 3, Heidi, the German waitress at the Double R Diner, kept saying Zig Heil instead of Ja sure. Or 4, rival network Sat 1 told the audience the identity of Laura's murderer before the first episode aired.
I could see it being number 4, but I'm going to go with number 2.
Oh, you should have went with your instinct there. It was number 4.
No.
Number 4, the rival network told everybody who killed Laura Palmer.
That's not nice.
And that was the whole point of the show.
Why watch it if...
All right. Where are we at, Johnny?
It's 0 for Tyler still, and it's Gina's question.
Gina.
Okay.
You could win on this, Gina.
Okay.
All right.
Please do.
All right, I'll make sure. What was the series originally supposed to be titled? What was the original title of the show, Twin Peaks? Was it 1, Wrapped in Plastic? Was it 2, All in the Family? Was it 3, The Agent Dale Cooper Power Hour? Or 4, Northwest Passage?
Well, we'll go boring. Northwest Passage.
Northwest Passage.
And that's the win. Tyler, sorry. Those are so many great bands at that block party week.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what?
Should I go ahead, Johnny?
Gina, you're a giving person.
I mean, he's adopting a dog after
That's
a while.
true.
I'm going to go ahead, even though I beat you, and give you these tickets to the Kilby Block Party coming to the Utah State Fair Park this May 10th through the 12th.
All right, hang on the line, Tyler. We'll tell you how to get those.
I've got to go. I've got to reserve my seat at the block party.
All right, it's news now, brought to you by...
Seahorses, squid, sharks, and more. Dive in and meet some of the ocean's strangest, most amazing creatures in the new IMAX film Secrets of the Sea, now playing at Clark Planetarium in downtown Salt Lake City.
American Idol producer Nigel Lithgow has been accused of sexual assault for a third time.
A third time?
In less than 2 months. Here's the quote. What should have been a quick 2-minute ride ended up being a 10 to 15-minute sexual assault and battery, in which plaintiff was trapped in Lithgow's vehicle. That's the allegation, a battery, gender violence, and emotional distress complaint from a Jane Doe against the former So You Think You Can Dance judge. Lithgow's sexual assault and battery of plaintiff left her feeling horribly violated, shocked, guilty, humiliated, and embarrassed. Mental anguish and emotional distress were severe and lasting to this day. There is a jury trial. They're seeking a jury trial in this. He's been accused of by a couple of other people too of sexual assault. Well, why do Utah lawmakers want their calendars out of public view?
Yeah,
well,
it's because
it's because I mean, what do they have to hide?
Exactly.
Probably everything.
Mm-hmm.
They've hung on walls, been boxes and day planners, and worked as apps in Google, Microsoft Outlook, iPhones, and under a bill. The Utah State Legislature calendars, whatever the format, would stay a secret. A state Senate committee Tuesday approved legislation that would clarify calendars of elected officials and government workers are not public records.
This should concern you that they so desperately want to keep that hidden.
Yes. The vote was 3-0 with 3 in absences. The bill will now move to the full Senate for consideration. Longstanding practice of the legislature and the statute was that daily calendars were not a record, said Kurt Bramble, Republican from Provo. The bill has a backstory, which we don't have time to go into, but part of it's that Mike Schultz speaking at the Patriot Academy, a group of white Christian nationalists.
I like to know that.
Yeah.
And when that came out, the Salt Lake Tribune requested his calendar to see if he'd done other speeches of that kind, and that's when this whole thing started kicking off. The day after revealing its $900 million plan to build a Major League Baseball stadium in Salt Lake's west side, the Utah legislature revealed another billion-dollar plan to create a new National Hockey League arena in downtown.
God.
Sponsored by Senator Dan McKay, this bill puts much of the decision-making power in the hands of Salt Lake City by letting the municipality create a sports and entertainment project area of up to 50 acres. It would allow bonds to be issued to build an arena and other infrastructure within that area to impose a 0.5% point sales tax increase citywide in order to pay off the bonds. Republicans in Washington deleted a reference to a discredited FBI informant in a letter they sent Tuesday to a potential witness in their impeachment inquiry against President Joe Biden. Republican interview request letters typically spell out the basis for their investigation, including with a paragraph describing a credible, confidential human sources conversation with a Ukrainian gas company executive about bribing Biden. The Justice Department last week said that informant, Alexander Smirnov, who is a U.S. citizen, made up the allegation, and now Republicans appear to be striking any mention of it from their impeachment
But that was
correspondence.
their best piece of evidence, they said.
That was their most critical. I heard it. I heard both Jim Jordan and Gomer say. Comer, excuse me.
There is a Gomer, though. Louis
Yeah,
Gomer.
No, I know. It's a different.
Representative Jamie Raskin said that House Republicans' impeachment inquiry against President Biden is a product of Russian propaganda.
Yes.
The Justice Department revealed Tuesday that Smirnov, we just mentioned that. It appears the whole thing is not only obviously false and fraudulent, but a product of Russian disinformation and propaganda, said Raskin, who is the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee. The brief said Raskin has called on Republicans to just drop the whole damn thing.
There's nothing there.
Utah book ban bill is heading to Governor Cox's office to see if he'll sign it. It's a bill that would overhaul the book banning process in Utah and make it easier to ban titles in public schools statewide. West Jordan Republican Ken Ivory said Tuesday that the legislation is meant to create uniformity when it comes to removing books and other materials from Utah's K-12 classrooms and libraries. Uniformity. We want to be even-handed censors.
How about the uniformity be you let the librarians pick the books in the library?
Commercial
How about
flights
that?
in Ogden have officially taken off once again as Breeze Airways pioneered their first service out of the municipal airport on Wednesday. The Breeze currently flies out of Provo as well, and now they're going to fly out of Ogden. They go right to Orange County, the gateway to Disneyland. And it doesn't say what the price of a ticket is.
I think it's pretty cheap.
It is pretty cheap. I think my son flew Breeze out of Provo to go on the cruise that he's on.
It's really cheap.
And he could get business class, which he wanted to get for more legroom because he's a large man. And I think the round trip it was only $170 or something like that.
It's very affordable.
Yeah. Bunny is making a big impact on others just by being, himself. Alex is a 30-pound rabbit. That's a big rabbit.
Yes.
He was rescued from a slaughterhouse in 2020.
Do we have the picture?
I haven't seen the picture.
He's
myself.
adorable.
By Josh Rowe and Kyo Kato. The pair rescued the Flemish rabbit, the Flemish hare, from a meat market in Modesto, California, and he now works as a therapy animal.
Therapy bunny?
The 3-year-old bunny has attended over 200 events in which he shows off his good looks and large stature.
His good looks.
Cato is a restaurant owner. He told that he and Rao take Alex whenever they can. And they go to their, we got Alex. We thought, why not bring him along? People will love him. And so they take him to hospitals and airports and to calm the nerves of patients and flyers. And they do volunteer work in the area. And they always bring, there's Alex. I've got a picture of him here now. I didn't know I had it.
We're going to have it here in a moment on x96.com/live.
He's in a baby stroller.
Yes.
And he's wearing a little cap.
Bunny stroller.
A little cap, and he's chewing on a large kale leaf, I think maybe it is.
That's a big bunny.
Yeah, he's big.
He's a big bunny.
He's a Flemish. Oh, now here's one where he's wearing a jersey. I think they should put him. They shouldn't put him in a. It's a San Francisco 49ers jersey, so I guess that's okay. He's a great-looking rabbit.
There we go.
There
he is.
Isn't he adorable?
Yeah, he's
huge.
And he's huge.
He's got a little hat.
Yeah.
And Red Lobster has had to make a change to their menu because they're going bankrupt. They were offering all-you-can-eat shrimp. Somebody figured out that it was causing them to have huge profit losses.
All you can eat?
Yeah, the endless shrimp offering.
You can't say endless.
They said it was going to be permanent, but after, they said people who took advantage of it ate so much shrimp, it affected financial loss for Red Lobster at the end of 2023. The deal was $20, all you can eat. They increased it to 23, then to 25, but they still couldn't stop the slide. They lost over $12 million.
Wow.
All right, that's it.
Sports weather traffic.
Let's see. Real Salt Lake, they had their opening game against Inter Miami last night against Messi, who played a little bit. And they won. Inter Miami won 2-0. The Jazz are home tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. That game is at 7 o'clock. And the Utah women's basketball team, they're ranked number 18 right now. They are on the road at number 12, UCLA Bruins. That's tonight at 7:30. Weather, so decreasing clouds today, high of 47. Overnight lows in the 20s, it looks like. And we warm up so much so that by Sunday, we could be flirting with 60. Hey, 60. How you doing there, 60? Then things change Monday into Tuesday where we start going back down, cooling off enough to where we could even see some snow down here in the valleys by Tuesday, it looks like. Traffic, we have a crash at the eastbound 72nd South 3rd West intersection. Both eastbound and northbound lanes are affected in that intersection. That is the only thing UDOT's telling me about, and you haven't sent anything in via text, but you certainly can if you see something. Let us know, 33986. Experience the magic and enchantment of Cat and Cauldron, your premier destination for all things occult and metaphysical in Taylorsville, catandcauldron.com.
All right, so we will take a break. We'll be back. I think Gerke is coming in to say hi. And don't forget the Boner Recap game just after 9 o'clock.
It's 20 warning signs your liver is sending you right now.
What are you? Why are you looking directly at me?
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
Now, before we get started, I'm concerned because our announcer there says, because people love a good list. I don't think so.
How do you know?
We're getting complaints about these lists.
List complaints?
I haven't seen them.
And I'm like, well, what's... And they said, well, get a good list.
Well...
I'm like, these are good lists.
I think this is a helpful list.
Well, this could be a lifesaver for me,
and it's
apparently.
Just, because you don't find a list interesting doesn't mean it's not a good list.
Okay, so number one, 20 warning signs your liver's trying to send you.
Uh-huh.
You have super itchy skin.
Uh-oh.
It's an early sign. It might just be dry. But if it's becoming a regular thing, it might be worth getting checked out, especially if it's itchy. Also, it's an indicator of cirrhosis of the liver.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Number two, your skin or eyes are turning yellow.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, that's a sign.
Uh-oh.
Seeing the whites of your eyes start to
yeah.
turn yellow, it's jaundice.
Yeah.
And it could mean your liver's in trouble.
That's what all of these mean.
Yeah. You've gained a lot of weight.
Uh-oh.
Your liver may be to blame. Another symptom of liver
You don't
cirrhosis.
need to say that every time.
Do you know what liver cirrhosis is?
It's when your liver cirrhosis is.
The disease develops slowly, replacing healthy liver tissue with scar tissue, blocking blood flow through the liver, inhibiting the organ from working properly.
Right. Believe me, I know that.
But then a conflicting symptom.
What's that?
You're losing weight.
Well.
So which one do you pay attention to?
I don't
but
know.
see, that one's a red flag for Hep C. So either you have cirrhosis or Hep C. So they're both bad.
Well, I wish my liver would make up my mind.
Your palms are red.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, I'm naturally pink.
Could be due to fatty liver disease. If
Okay.
your palm, I always
Okay.
say that wrong. Palms.
It's palms.
Your sleep schedule's out of whack.
Yo, whoa!
Culprit?
Liver.
Liver
Yeah.
cirrhosis.
I don't know. You're giving the liver an awful lot of
Your
credit
memory's
here.
gotten worse.
What?
No, that's just with age.
What are we talking about? Yes?
You're always tired.
What?
All of these
Uh-oh.
symptoms are worse.
These are just being a person, all of these things.
A person who has to get up at 3 in the morning.
Your appetite's disappeared. That hasn't happened.
No.
You're a man experiencing enlarged breasts.
Uh-oh.
Again.
No, that's just aging.
I'm working on them.
That's just aging.
Your personality's changing.
Shut up.
You bruise easily.
Oh! Look at this.
You have swollen legs and ankles.
No.
No, you're good there?
No.
You feel confused.
About what? Where?
I'm in radio,
Huh?
of course.
What?
You have body pains. This is a list of...
Again, these are all things. This is this is the kind of list that people are complaining about.
These are all things that can happen for any reason.
You're bloated.
What?
Your urine is dark.
It's no.
You're okay with
Yeah,
lemonade?
No, it's
Okay.
it's pink.
You can't concentrate. It's pink. That's another problem.
Seems fine to me. It's gaily colored.
You have dry eyes or a dry mouth. All those things, none of those things.
Well,
Again, these are all things that happen to people.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with cirrhosis.
No, it's.
But it could.
It could.
This is a terrible
It
list.
could also have something to do with
You know
leprosy.
what? I'm going to write an email. Dear Radio from Hell, I hate the lists.
But the liver holds a special place in the heart. You got to.
That's true.
That's what. Yes,
We
it
hope
does.
you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
All right. Is this sponsored, Gina?
No.
Well, don't be so discouraged.
Who's that journalist? The pickle guy. Gurky! Gurky! Radio from Hell on X96.
Speaking of discouraged, Robert Gerke came in and said, you already covered both of my stories.
Yeah.
I don't know what
You knew he was coming in.
Now we've got 5 minutes to fill, and I just don't know what to talk about.
Well, we could. And by the way, I'm glad you went to the doctor.
Yeah, thank you for forcing me to go to the doctor.
I felt like I had to bully you into it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that, but I had bronchitis, and it's better now. Got some antibiotics, and 95% better.
Now, we were talking with Angela Romero earlier, and she's talking about the importance of voting and getting people into the. I guess what I want to ask is, do the majority of Utahns really dislike a lot of this stuff that comes out of the legislature?
That's a complicated question. I think it's hard to say if it's a majority. We've seen in the past the legislature has not been responsive to the wishes of Utah voters. And we thought, in 2018 when we passed all these ballot initiatives was the clearest demonstration. Everybody had wanted medical marijuana to be legal for a long time. Everybody had wanted an independent redistricting commission for a long time. We'd all wanted Medicaid expansion for a long time. The polling had consistently shown that a majority wanted that, and the legislature wouldn't do it. And then the voters kind of took it into their own hands through this pretty arduous process and did it themselves. And there's sort of been this ongoing effort to try to dismantle that. And there's been, repeated polling that shows that there are other things that voters want, things like a bigger investment in public education, better, a bigger investment in air quality, affordable housing. And the legislature's been resistant to that. So I think Angela makes a fair point that, that the desires, the wishes of voting public do not always get reflected in the legislature. However, not to throw cold water on Angela's. I mean, I'm all for voting. It doesn't necessarily work in this state because we have these gerrymandered districts that we've talked about before on here, where people's votes are diluted, and it's not necessarily effective to it's not an effective method of change.
But what is
there?
Well, there's not. I mean, that's the problem.
I mean, throw the scoundrels out.
It's the only way. You're right. It's the only way that we can throw the scoundrels out. And there are a handful of races in the state every year that are close enough that they can make a difference. I am a big proponent of people who want to have an impact if they live in a Republican district, of registering as a Republican. Gene has done that. We've talked about it before, because that primary election oftentimes in a lot of districts in the state is the election that actually makes a difference.
I switched back to Democrat just so I could vote for Joe Biden in the primary.
Oh,
but which I did. I don't know, but you can switch back and forth willy nilly, you know.
Yeah,
so.
they've imposed some deadlines, and I don't remember exactly what it is for the primary. I think it's 30 days before the vote, where you have to be, if you're going to change parties from Democrat to Republican, you have to do that. If you're unaffiliated, you can affiliate with either party. But so they've made it a little bit harder, and they try to make it harder each time.
But partially why I did it. Was back when Spencer Cox was running for governor, because I did not want Greg Hughes to be the governor.
Yes.
And I stand by that even today. Even with all of my complaints about Spencer Cox, he's a much better governor than Greg Hughes would have been, I think.
I think he's the same governor that Greg Hughes would have been. About the same.
I'm stuck between the two of you here on this.
But we had Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox on our show for years. We would have him on. Let me speak to the lieutenant governor.
Because we couldn't get the governor.
Yeah. and he would come on here. God bless him. He brought me bacon. I love that. But I think when he was
a bribe, Gina.
And I still feel like the Spencer Cox that showed up then, that seemed to care about LGBTQ people, I think that was genuine. I really believe that.
Well,
but that has changed, and I think I would love to have him back on the show, because I think he owes an explanation to our listeners.
Let me see if I mark this correctly. When Donald Trump made his remark about grabbing women by their private parts, Spencer Cox and what's his name from the 2nd Congressional District, Jason Chaffetz, I know they both said, I could never vote for a human being who did that. Yeah. And now Spencer Cox is, well, Donald Trump has his flaws, and he's probably too old to run for president too, but, I'm a Republican. I'm going to vote for him.
Yeah, add Mike Lee to that list. He was the one who came out
There's a video
immediately after that and made this video saying he's an embarrassment to the party, he's going to damage the party, and he should get out of the race. And now we see where Mike Lee's gotten to in the.
And this is what makes us cynical.
Rightly so. I think Governor Cox is in a bit of a different situation because he is up for election this year. I'm not making excuses for him. He does have several opponents that he's going to be running against. He's got a legislature that is eager to override any veto that he might issue. Yeah. But you're right. He did for many years make a big production.
Let me read this for you.
Okay. Yes. Please.
This is a tweet from Spencer Cox, December 15th, 2020. You will not believe he wrote this after what's been happening lately. Today, Governor Herbert and community leaders announced the creation of the Utah Compact on Racial Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. History teaches us that progress doesn't just happen, it requires forethought, commitment, and deliberate action. These principles reflect a firm resolve toward racial justice, a direction toward equity and inclusion that will continue during my administration. This isn't about political correctness, it's about human correctness, it's about kindness, decency, and love for our fellow travelers.
And somebody
How
said
do you
to
write
him,
that?
Somebody said to him, "You come across as being woke,
Well, they still refer to him as governor pronouns because he said, he was speaking to a class and he said, my pronouns are he, him.
But that's how I vote. I read that and go, yes, I will vote for that.
You can get behind that.
He said exactly the opposite.
And then this big anti-woke, anti-DEI movement builds all across the country, and we end up with a guy that does a 180 and signs this bill into law. Not just signing
Didn't he call
the bill
it
into
intrinsically
law.
evil?
He called it. He did use the word evil. He said that word was taken out of context. In fairness to him, but I don't know exactly how you get to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm curious to see how the DEI stuff plays out. But we talked about it before. We were in a situation where not everybody had the same opportunities. That's all of the data showed, in terms of housing, in terms of education, minority populations in the state.
Just looking around.
Did not have the same opportunities. And then you remove any benefits that they might have through these DEI programs, and it puts us in a bad situation. And you're right, the governor that didn't just sign the bill, he didn't reluctantly sign the bill, he kind of let out on the messaging on that bill.
He didn't have to sign it. He could have just let it
die.
No, he had to sign it.
Well, he would have. It passed the legislature by wide margins, and they would have overridden the veto.
He didn't have to sign it.
He could have let it become law. He could have let it become law without his signature.
He did have to sign it
if he doesn't do anything within 10 days.
Or if he let it become law without his signature, because why?
Politics.
Because he wants to be reelected.
Politics, yeah. I think. Maybe he's caught in a situation, and I think it would be great to have him on the show and have him explain it, because I think he's caught in a situation where he's torn between what he would like in some instances to do and what he feels politically compelled
And I
to
think he's got people whispering in his ears, and he believes those people. I saw it one of the first visits when he was here, when we were talking about abortion. He was easily manipulated by that video that was edited.
Project Veritas.
Project Veritas,
right.
which has been completely discredited now. And he believed that video, even though I told him it was manipulated. And he said, I know what I saw. And that was it.
And he's very big into this Disagree Better movement right now, right? And it's really difficult when you're a party that we talked about that has no political power, doesn't feel like its voice is heard, to disagree better, because that doesn't get you anywhere.
You want to disagree better? Put up your dukes.
Exactly. Well, offer stands to Spencer to come here and apologize. That's the only thing I will accept.
Let's have a talk about it.
Well, and he wrote a long piece, 5,000 words on this Substack or whatever.
I haven't read it yet.
I read it. It's not an apology.
Not an apology.
Probably wouldn't be satisfied.
No, I
It's
won't be
rationalization.
satisfied.
But yeah, he should come on.
Yep.
All right. Robert Gerke, Salt Lake Tribune. Read his columns. We'll try not to steal your thunder next time.
No, that's all right.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, guys.
Traffic, please, Gina.
Some good news for you. Traffic seems to be moving well. I don't have any accidents to tell you about, and you haven't texted in any, but if you do see something, please let us know. 33986.
Thank you very much. All right, we will take a break. We'll be back after these messages and a song with the Boner Recap game. Should be pretty easy for you to play. Just tell us who won the Boner this morning, and you'll win.
You will win Social Distortion tickets.
A great prize. 877-602-9696. One of the classic X96 bands, Social Distortion. Call and tell us who won the Boner, and you will probably win. It's that easy. RandLife.com/X96.
Here's the big news from Rand Life Home Loans, local mortgage company. You can qualify for a home loan with an incredible 3.75% interest rate with Rand Life's 3-in-1 ARM. That's adjustable rate mortgage. Rand Life's 3-in-1 ARM is your golden ticket to unlocking affordability on the home you've always dreamed of. With a 3.75% interest rate, you can qualify for a bigger loan amount. You can get a lower mortgage payment. You can turn your dream into an address. Rand Life has some of the best loan pricing and loan officers in the game, and they're ready to guide you through the mortgage process today. So why don't you reach out and learn more? You can visit randlife.com/X96. Their experts are there to answer any questions you might have. On approval of credit, restrictions do apply. 3.75% interest rate. APR is 6.97%. Turn your dream into an address today. randlife.com/X96. Carrie, you're close, the closest of all of us to toys. I mean,
yes,
you're surrounded by them.
Physically, right now.
Yeah. So the Toy Hall of Fame.
Yes.
They've announced their inductees for this year. One of these I don't even know, and one of them I'm not sure why it's classified as a toy. So the National Toy Hall of Fame in New York announced this year's inductees are the classic doll Baby Nancy. Do you know Baby Nancy, Gina?
It's just one of those baby dolls that have been around forever. It's just one of the first and earliest, and it's just been a mainstay.
The only doll I could really say. Oh, Betsy Wetsy. I remember
Baby
Betsy
Nancy
Wetsy.
is the reason it's her. She's a black baby doll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's why that was of note.
And then Jenga. Now, that's a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that classifies as a toy.
Sure.
But then the other one is sidewalk chalk. Now, how is that? I don't.
It's I mean, you don't necessarily. I mean, what the classification of toy is. It's hard to say. I think it's anything that keeps your kids occupied.
Yeah.
And that dates back to,
hopscotch.
Even further. I mean, caveman times.
That's Ugg want sidewalk chalk. So the toys that didn't, there were 12 finalists. Here are the ones that didn't make the cut. Bingo.
Bingo hasn't been in there yet?
Not yet.
Huh.
What? Now, you might know what this is, Gina. Briar horses.
I used to collect them. They're my favorite. I love Briar horses.
They didn't make the cut. Light Bright. Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
My Little Pony. Risk. There's Master of the Universe right there. Carrie's got it at x96.com/.
Oh, He-Man. I'm not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Of course, neither's He-Man. Sorry, the game Sorry. Tamagotchi and Yahtzee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're a Baby Nancy, created in 1968, became the best-selling black doll in Los Angeles by the end of the year.
Yeah, Briar horses were that's all I wanted for my birthday and Christmas, because they were like Carrie collects his toys. Like the new ones would come out, and there were ones that were hard to find.
How many do you have? How many did you have?
Oh, I probably had 30 or 40 of them.
And where are they now?
I don't know.
Why?
They're probably in a box in Mary Claire's garage, probably. But
don't you want to go dig them up?
Yes, now I want to. So they had there will be famous horses, like famous race horses.
Seabiscuit.
Or famous horses from TV and movies.
Mr. Red.
Yeah.
Flicka.
Or they were just breeds, like, you try to collect all the breeds.
Appaloosa.
Yes.
Palomino.
Yes.
Pinto.
I had a whole bookshelf with, I loved them.
Now they have wheels, or
no, they're
so you could drive them around? Well, yeah, but you want to be able to.
No, you do, like.
Pretend that they're galloping?
Yeah.
Were they on little stands, like rearing up in the air?
Sometimes. Those were special ones. But they were easier to play with if they weren't on the stands.
Now, because people have asked me, not just you guys, but have asked me before about this Toy Hall of Fame thing. And as I recall, I'm not for sure, but as I recall, it's only been together about just a few years that they've done the Toy Hall of Fame. And that's why some of these, the ones that you would think should be in there, should be in there. And they, for some reason, only induct 3 a year in, which, that seems kind of an arbitrary.
Yeah, I don't know why are these. Let's see, here's the Toy Hall of Fame home. Here are toys inducted by year.
Ball in a Cup? Is Ball in a Cup in there?
Let me see. Well, the first year that they did this is...
Stick in a hoop? What about the hoop and the stick?
1998. So it's been around for a while.
Yeah. But they only induct like 3 a year in.
Well, that first year they did like 10. I don't know why. Then the number goes down. In 2001, there were only 2 things inducted: Silly Putty and Tonka trucks. Let's see, what was last year? Last year was coloring books.
Okay.
Magic the Gathering, and Matchbox
Wait a minute.
cars.
You have Magic the Gathering before you have bingo? That doesn't make any sense.
I hate to break it to you, Gina, but Magic the Gathering is one of the biggest selling games
I know, but
on the planet right now. So,
but don't you start with where we started? You start with Ball in a Cup and bingo.
Well,
I agree with you.
Coloring books.
I mean, number one, the first place they started was playing soccer with the skulls of your enemies. That's where,
that's number one.
Yeah, that's number one.
That should be.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You saved Magic the Gathering for several years down the road.
Magic the Gathering is similar to playing soccer with the skulls of your enemies, but not exactly the same.
All right, 9:08. Yes.
Rocky in Glendale.
Well, I know him.
Says he knows who won the boner today. And I said, Rocky, you got to call 877-602-9696. This is not a text to win situation in Glendale. You
Is there
got to call in.
2 N's in Glendale?
No, just one.
Just one? Okay.
You're thinking of Nendale. Oh, wait, that doesn't
Nope,
No.
that doesn't make
No.
any
No.
sense.
And no, I'm not. Okay.
The boner recap. It's
Oh,
a
it is
chance
time,
for
yes.
you to win tickets to see Social Distortion Saturday, May 25th at the Union. Tickets are on sale now. You can find ticket links and more information at x96.com.
Who dare?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Barbara?
Hello.
Hi, Barbara. Barbara, how are you?
Hi, good morning. Great. How are you guys doing?
Just fine. Where are you calling us from, Barbara?
I'm from Ogden, Utah.
My hometown. Barbara.
Hey.
Hey. Can you smell the dog food plant right now?
Not right now, but sometimes I can.
Yeah, are you
More
like
of a
me?
summertime
Whenever I
thing.
smell that, it makes me hungry. I don't know why. It's just the weirdest thing.
Oh, man.
All right, Barbara, I'm going to tell you or just recap the boners that we did earlier, and you tell me the winner, and then you'll win tickets to see Social Distortion. Did you hear the candidates earlier?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. This will be easy for you then. Here we go. Boner candidate number 1 was, well, because that's what neo-Nazis do. They go to the house of a reporter. Jordan Green works for Raw Story. He's been doing some inside stories on this group of neo-Nazis. And so they showed up at his house in a threatening manner, protested outside of his house. Just what a bunch of nice guys, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Boner candidate number 2, the Department of Labor is against children learning the value of hard work, apparently. The Labor Department has accused a company that provides janitorial services for industrial slaughterhouses of illegally employing children to clean hazardous equipment. You know, like the head-splitting machine
Yeah.
and the meat-cutting bandsaw. And boner candidate number 3, well, the reason they do it is they want to keep an eye on them because they might want another abortion. The Oklahoma legislature, they're calling this the Right to Human Life Act, by the way.
Of course they are.
They want to create a database of every person, that would be woman, who obtained an abortion. Because, they want to monitor these things, make sure that they don't try it again.
Because it's fun. You look for reasons to have more than one abortion.
And sometimes it's a money-making proposition,
Yeah.
isn't it? All right, Barbara, those were the 3 candidates. Who was the winner?
3.
Number 3 is correct.
Number 3, yes.
And you and a companion are going to leave the town of the smelly dog food plant and go see a Social Distortion show. Okay?
Awesome.
Barbara,
Thank you so much.
You're one of my favorite lines in a classic movie, Night of the Living Dead. Here we go. I'm going to play it for you.
I know it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I just love the way that guy says that line. I just love it.
There you go, Barbara.
All right, thank you, Barbara.
Hang on.
They're
coming to get you, Barbara.
That was creepy.
That's what
Such a great movie.
That movie, I remember seeing that with my dear departed friend John, and we were there were maybe 20 people in the theater. I think it was the old Orpheum Theater in Ogden. And we're watching this Night of the Living Dead, and all of a sudden I'm realizing what I'm seeing here is a comedy. And it really is funny. There are so many funny things
There
in
are
that.
some funny things in it, yes.
And we were both laughing our heads off, and people around us are going, what's wrong with you people? What's wrong
It's like Evil Dead is funny.
Well, it's funny until the end.
But
when it makes an extreme commentary about racial injustice.
But just all those zombies wandering around that shopping mall and.
Oh, you're thinking of a different one.
Oh, I'm thinking of Dawn of the Dead.
You're thinking of Dawn of the Dead. That is a comedy.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
Well, the original Night of the Living Dead is.
Yeah, no, it's there.
It does have some funny things in it.
Yeah, but that's a pretty serious.
But it's a very serious.
Yeah, I was thinking of Dawn of the Dead.
Get your dead straight, Bill.
But then the remake of Dawn of the Dead with Ty Burrell in it is not a comedy at all. It's
got a lot of funny stuff.
It's a gore fest, though. Really, I like.
I mean, one of my favorite parts is where they're standing up on the roof, and the guy on the roof far away from them was holding up celebrity names, and they would look down in the pack of zombies for the celebrity that they're looking
Find
for.
one, yeah.
Burt Reynolds. Phew, there he is. Yeah.
That reminds the other time I was in a theater where I was the only person laughing. I know it's hard to believe. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Really?
They didn't get it? Was that in Ogden?
It's
No, we were in Florida.
It's pretty silly. I don't know how you.
I was in Florida.
How you missed that one?
We were laughing, and there were people just going, "What?"
No,
they didn't get it.
I've told the story before, but I was the only person laughing in Spinal Tap.
Really?
They thought it was real?
Because at the time it was being promoted on MTV as though it were a real band.
Yeah.
With the video and everything, you know. Nobody was. I mean, I knew all those people in that movie.
Yeah.
I
don't get it.
Well, when the movie started, they're like, "Woo, woo!" Throwing up the devil sign and all that.
Even though it's a band, they were pretending they knew who this band was.
I guess. I don't know.
Some on MTV.
Yeah, they were on
It's
MTV.
the loudest band in the world.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Take a break. We'll be back. Big boy news coming up after these. Stand by.
Sir.
Crater. Spell it with me now. Crater, C-R-A-T-E-R. And now we'll use it in some dialogue featuring that quintessential Utahn LeGrand R. Dunn and his son, LeGrand R. Dunn II, or LeGrand Jr., as the family calls him. Let's join them now as they stand in the line to see Santa Claus at the mall.
Now you remember, Junior, tell Santy nice and loud what you want for Christmas.
Okay.
But only ask for them inexpensive gifts that we already discussed betwixt the two of us.
I'm afraid of Santa Claus, Dad. He won't hurt me, will he?
Oh, no, of course not. As long as you don't ask him for them expensive gifts.
Okay.
You see that little boy over there with the broken arm?
Yeah.
He asked Sandy for one of them fancy video game thingers. Sandy has a lot of work to do at Christmas time, and he can get a little bit testy.
Well, how come Santa Claus gives us presents at Christmas time? I mean, Christmas is his birthday, not ours. We should give Santa Claus presents.
What? You think Christmas is Sandy Claus's birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, I knew I shouldn't have let you go to public school. I knew I should have kept up with that John and Vicky Singer home study plan. Christmas is not Sandy's birthday.
Well, whose birthday is it then?
Christmas is the birthday of Jesus Christ our Savior. And Jesus is the Son of God, the creator of the universe, and the creator of everybody and everything that's in it.
Everybody? I mean, did God create Batman?
Yes.
And Barney?
Yes.
And Coral Malone? And you and me and Mommy and even Santa Claus?
He is the creator of all things.
So I guess if God and Santa Claus got in a fight, God would win then.
That's it. We are getting out of this line, and we're going over to Temple Square right now. You have got some learning to do.
Okay, 9:18, so we got plenty of time for some big boy news and opinioendo. Brought to you by...
Shop everyday low prices on a huge selection of home furnishings at Living Spaces, plus discover clearance deals that are up to 60%. Get free next-day shipping. Save big every day only at Living Spaces.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson delivered a presentation at a weekend Republican retreat that, although it was billed as a map to keeping the House majority, took on a surprisingly religious tone. According to two people in the room. Johnson's private remarks to a small group of Republican lawmakers at Miami's Mandarin Oriental Hotel over the weekend alarmed both people who addressed the speech on condition of anonymity. Rather than outlining a specific plan to hold and grow the majority, these people said Johnson effectively delivered a sermon.
Yep.
The Louisiana Republican showed slides to the members of his elected leadership committee in a bid to tout the party's prospects of hanging on to its two-seat majority in November. Johnson, a devout Christian, it says here, attempted to rally the group by discussing moral decline in America, focusing on declining church membership and the nation's shrinking religious identity. The speaker contended that when one doesn't have God in their life, the government or state will become their guide. Referring to Bible verses, both people said. They added that the approach fell flat among many people in the room. I'm not a church, one of the people said, describing Johnson's presentation as horrible. I think what he was trying to do, but failed on the execution of it, was try to bring us together. The sermon was so long he couldn't bring it back to make that point. Another person in the room who was close to Johnson said the speaker had dipped into historical and religious points for perhaps a third of the presentation, arguing that the party needed to save the country.
You know, you represent people that aren't Christian. Do they know that?
Not if
they
he,
know
not if he gets his way.
Yeah, not if
you
they can
only
do it.
want to represent people that are
No,
Christian.
no. If he gets his way, you'll convert.
All the people in the country that you represent.
Read Project 2025. I'm telling you, it's all part of Christo-fascism that they want to bring.
The weekend retreat also featured notable tension between Republican conference leaders and Freedom Caucus Chair Bob Good, who argued in Miami that Johnson needs to lead Republicans in the direction that is favored by conservatives. Lisa McClain pushed back, questioning Good, saying, Would you let Johnson lead, or if he could, would block him whenever he disagreed with the Republican leader's approach? Conservatives have blocked legislation from being considered on the floor several times during Mike Johnson's term.
They want to eliminate the separation of church and state as much as they can.
Sometimes it seems as though the United States gets the boring fast food items while the rest of the world enjoys more fun, quirky items. Well, KFC's honey barbecue chicken and spicy mac and cheese wraps were pretty decent entries into the fast food realm. Many folks stateside no doubt wish they could also sink their teeth into one of the many international KFC menu items that they see on Instagram or TikTok. Fortunately, the fast food chain has announced that one of its fan-favorite international items, Chizza, or Chizza probably, Chizza, is finally coming to the U.S. On February 23rd and 24th, KFC fans in New York can order the item at the restaurant's 14th Street location, which the chain will transform into a unique Chizzeria. Customers can enter the store, so you want to know what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a pizza and fried chicken mashup. It is...
I can't...
Okay, it is 2 extra crispy pieces of fried chicken.
Okay.
Topped with marinara sauce, mozzarella
like
cheese,
it's
and
the crust.
pepperoni.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's a Chizza.
Chicken pizza.
Chizza, yeah.
Chizza.
Like pizza. Like Chizza. It does not really appeal to me. Colin Jost and Michael Che don't want people to be cheated out of a revelous St. Patrick's Day because 2024 is a leap year. The holiday skips Saturday and falls on a Sunday. So the Saturday Night Live Weekend Update co-anchors have partnered with Jameson's Irish Whiskey to promote St. Patrick's Eve, complete with a countdown celebration that they'll be hosting in Times Square on March 16th. We don't really like doing brand deals. That's not our thing, Che tells people. But for a really good cause, like leap year, we had to. Che predicts that it will possibly be the greatest holiday that will ever exist. Even though we just found out about it, it feels like we've been celebrating it forever. He says, Colin Joe says, I think this is going to be at least the second biggest countdown of the year that happens in Times Square. Top 2 for sure. Let's see. Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group
yes
says that they're about to spend a lot of money on a couple of things. Tom Cruise and the head of Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group, Michael DeLuca and Pam Addy, have had a meeting. They met to identify a film that would kick off their non-exclusive strategic partnership. Sources say a raft of possibilities were discussed, including an Edge of Tomorrow follow-up, which was a really good movie.
I love that movie.
I did.
And I hate the name, but I love the movie.
And Quentin Tarantino's The Movie Critic, which currently isn't set up with a distributor and has Warner Brothers, like every other major studio, they want to get a hold of it. Cruise remains the king of studio tentpoles.
Yep.
A roost solidified by Top Gun Maverick. But Cruise wants more than action stardom. He wants to go back to working with auteur directors like Paul Thomas Anderson. He hasn't earned an Oscar nomination for acting since he appeared in Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, one of my favorite movies of all time, and Tom Cruise is excellent in it.
He's good in it.
He's just great. Earlier in his career, Cruise benefited from being directed by Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Stanley Kubrick. But then he moved into the action stuff, and but if he started,
he's getting older.
I think he's looking to work with Quentin Tarantino on this last movie.
I kind of think they wouldn't get along. I don't know.
Yeah,
why
I would think that they
but-
would. Yeah, that doesn't. Seem...
I don't know. I think
Because Quentin likes things a certain way, and Tom likes things a certain way.
But Quentin Tarantino loves big Hollywood and big Hollywood stars. He loves them.
We'll see. We'll see.
And then they're also throwing a lot of money at this new Joker movie, I guess.
Lady Gaga.
Which I don't understand why it's costing them so much. Because...
Sources say Joaquin Phoenix is getting $20 million.
That's why.
Lady Gaga will take home about $12 million.
Okay.
She's playing Harley Quinn. So yeah, they're
Is
throwing
there
a lot of
early
money
buzz on this?
well,
it's a musical. Which, much to the consternation of geeks.
I think much to the consternation of the movie studios, too. I don't think they would like that.
They won't market it as a musical.
No. Yeah, they're like they did with Mean Girls.
Exactly.
Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, Sylvester Stallone says he underwent 7 surgeries from injuries he sustained doing stunts on the first Expendables film. I underwent 4 surgeries after watching it.
Yes.
Sorry. It's the only reason I mentioned that story, so I could make that joke. An 8-year-old boy from Singapore has set a new record, becoming the youngest player to defeat a grandmaster in classical chess.
Ooh.
An 8-year-old kid. Ashwaf Kaushik beat 37-year-old Jacek Stopa of Poland in round 4 of the Burgerdorfer Stratothos Open in Switzerland. Boy, that was a mouthful.
Yeah.
The previous record was just set last month by Leonid Ivanisevic of Serbia, who became the first player under the age of 9 to beat a grandmaster in a classical game. But at 8 years, 6 months, and 11 days old, Ashwaf is now the record holder, according to Chess.com. It felt really exciting and amazing, and I felt proud of my game and how I played, especially since I was worse at one point, but managed to come back from that, Ashwaf told Chess.com. Ashwaf finished 12th overall in the tournament in Switzerland, but he did beat a grandmaster, which is pretty remarkable. Let's see, and Girl Scout cookie season is underway.
I haven't bought any.
Oh,
yet.
yeah, we got to get some.
If you're looking for Girl Scout cookies but don't know any Scouts, there are several options where you can find them. Let's see.
I usually buy them from a table out in front of the grocery store. That's where I usually get mine.
We know somebody who has a girl in the Scouts, and so we usually get them from them.
I think you can also buy them online. If you don't, if you don't know a family involved in Girl Scouts, there are ways you can use. You can use the Girl Scout Cookie Finder.
There you go.
It's called the Girl Scout Cookie Finder online to find a booth selling cookies.
Yeah, like
so. And if you,
out in front of a grocery.
Yeah, and the reason to do that is because it benefits your local Girl Scouts.
All right.
But you can buy Girl Scout cookies directly online from.
Buy them from a kid.
Just search from the girls. Search for the girl. Well, maybe you live out in the boonies, where there is no.
Is there a limit of boxes I can buy?
It
can buy.
Doesn't say that there is.
Okay.
Now, usually somebody buys a whole bunch of them and brings them to work, and then that's when I don't buy them ever. I just eat them when people bring them to work.
I buy them and stock up.
Exactly, for throughout the year. So I don't have to wait for Girl Scout cookie
Stick
time.
the Samoas in the freezer.
Yeah, sure.
And the Thin Mints, although those, I think those are the most popular, the Thin Mints.
Probably.
And I don't, but that's never been my.
That's not my go-to. Samoas are my go-to.
I like the
love
Samoas. I like the tagalongs, the do-si-dos.
What's the new one?
You can keep your lemon ups. There's a Girl Scout s'mores, which I don't know. If
I
that's
don't
any
love.
good.
You know,
It's
I
not-
love a s'more. It's not a good.
It's
s'more.
not a good s'more.
Toffee-tastic.
That's the new one that I think that I wanted to try. No, wait, I've had that one. Have I?
I don't know.
If I could see it, I could tell
And
you.
keep your damn lemon ups. I don't care.
I like them.
And Hotel California.
You can check out anytime you like.
Have you been hearing some of this nonsense?
No, what's going on?
Well, in the mid-'70s, of course, the Eagles, working on their stupid song, Hotel California, referred to here as a spooky, cryptic song. On a lined yellow pad, Don Henley, with input from band co-founder Glenn Fry, jotted thoughts about a dark desert highway, lonely place, luxurious surface and ominous undertones, something on ice, perhaps caviar. Did you... The Hotel California became one of the most indelible rock singles ever. And nearly a half-century later, those handwritten pages of lyrics in the making have become the center of a criminal trial.
Criminal?
Set to open yesterday. Rare book dealer Glenn Horowitz, former Rock and Roll Hall of Fame curator Craig Inciardi, and memorabilia seller Edward Kosinski are charged with conspiring to own and try and sell manuscripts of Hotel California and other Eagles hits without the right to do so.
Oh.
The three have pleaded not guilty. Their lawyers have said the men committed no crime with the papers, which they bought from a writer who had worked with the Eagles. Apparently he found them in the trash.
Oh, okay.
The writer, he was I forget his name now. He was going to write a book. He was writing a book about the Eagles, and he found those lyrics in the trash. So he took them
and he kept them.
And he
I
kept
would
them.
too. Yeah.
But he then later, I think, sold them to these guys or to one of these guys.
Oh, but they threw them away.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Anyway,
I thought you were going to talk about the demonic forces that are at work in that song.
I wouldn't, because there aren't any.
That's not what my seminary teacher told me.
The son of the devil.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Weather.
Okay, decreasing clouds, high of 47 today, overnight low 29, and then we gradually warm up, so much so that by Sunday we could be flirting with 60. Looking good, 60. That doesn't stay, though. We go back down cool enough to actually possibly have snow on the valley floor on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you very much.
Listen to Radio from
Condom. Condom. Spell it with me now. C-O-N-D-O-M. And now let's use it in some dialogue featuring those two Utah guys, LeVar and LeGrand. We join LeVar and LeGrand as they split a hot fudge sundae. And and have some Postum down to the Snell Groves. And remember, the word of the day is condom.
Oh, ma'am, this is really some good hot fudge. Nobody does fudge like Snell Groves, don't you think, LeVar?
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh, and they make a mean cup of Postum, don't they?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, of course, Leatherby's is pretty good, too. Like you. Well, you like the Leatherby's, don't you?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, for heck's sakes, LeVar, what is your problem? You are as closed-mouthed as a clam
Oh,
today.
it's nothing against you, LeGrand. I'm just worried about my nephew Varnell. I'm afraid he's gonna have to get married, and he's just too young.
Why, what did he do? Did he get that little girl he was going with pregnant?
Well, she's knocked up all right, but it ain't Varnell's fault. He don't have no experience with women. He didn't know what he was doing. He's a good boy. Varnell is just a little bit naive in the ways of love and sex. He got her in the family way all right, but he was fooled by that little tramp Chanel. She conned him into it. He didn't want to have sex with her, but she conned him into it with those feminine spells and stuff. She conned him, LeGrand.
Now, settle down, LeVar. I believe you. Same thing happened to me when I married Vernille. She used some kind of evil spell to get me to have sex with her, too. Well, not before we was married, of course. But she uses them spells on me now. For heck's sakes, I don't want to have sex with the woman, but somehow she gets me to rise to the deed.
Well, that's what happened with Varnell. I mean, that temptress conned him into the sex deed. I told him this would have been avoided if he'd just wore one of them little rubber things on the end of his tallywhacker. What do you call them things?
I just call them rubbers.
Well, if he'd have had on a rubber, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant, even if he weakened when she conned him into sex. Now, he's not going to be able to open that lawnmower and knife sharpening business he's dreamed of. His life is just over.
Now have some more Postum, LeVar.
All right, 9:36.
I have
one of those.
You know,
a thing.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
Maybe you're thinking about planning your spring break trip or your summer trip.
I am.
Got
any ideas?
Yeah. I'm going to Puerto Vallarta.
You are?
Yeah.
Puerto Vallarta.
Good choice. Good choice.
This is a list of places, famous places.
Okay.
That people that have been there said, don't bother. So this will be helpful.
Okay.
Number 1, the Hollywood Walk of Fame in L.A.
Why? I think it's fascinating.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because it's not only underwhelming, but there are pushy street performers.
Yes, there are.
And people trying to get you to get your picture taken
Yes, there are.
with them.
The pushy street performers are entertaining.
Is that?
And you
don't find that annoying?
And just the amazing number of stars, and it's interesting to go walking down there and say, I don't even know who that is.
Oh, so that thrill of confusion is exciting.
I like
for
it.
you, right?
I like
Okay.
it. I've enjoyed being there.
All right.
I wouldn't go back necessarily, but
The Alamo.
I've been there.
There's no basement, apparently.
There is not a basement.
And the thing about the Alamo is it's a monument to where the Mexicans kicked our ass.
Yeah.
And it's very small.
Yeah,
they
it
say
is.
it takes, if you make that a destination, it takes you about 5 minutes to
Really?
walk.
Remember the Alamo.
I didn't realize it was that small.
It's very small, and you're like, okay.
I mean, I had no plans to go there, but
Miami Beach, which we've been
been
there.
to, and yes.
This says it's a constant parade of ostentatious, arrogant people.
Yeah.
Luxury cars,
Yeah.
exorbitant prices,
Yeah.
nightclubs that you can't get into.
That was the thing. You couldn't get into nightclubs. I would like to go to a drag show down there, though.
Like the Birdcage?
Yeah, like something like that. But
I thought it was very colorful and entertaining.
The Mona Lisa at the Louvre.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they need to go see the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, and there's 1 million people
Yeah.
there, and it's smaller than you would think.
Yeah.
I've seen the Mona Lisa twice, once at the Louvre and once at the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. And I enjoyed seeing it both times.
This is going to be your attitude about all these?
Well, so far.
Yeah. He was mad because we didn't pick his list.
No, I read through that list a little bit more. It was terrible.
The Liberty Bell at Independence Hall. I haven't been there.
I've had no desire to go, but
I don't have any desire to go there either.
You have to wait in line to see it.
Yeah.
They say the lines are really long, and once you see it, it's like, oh, okay.
Wait a minute. The lines are really long for a reason.
It's historical. The Tower of London.
Which we've been to.
Mm-hmm.
They say, again, long lines and a limited time allotted for visiting the jewels. So the crown jewels are...
Yeah, I thought that was all pretty fascinating, too. I liked it.
Let's see. The London Eye, that's the big...
was not there when we were there last.
The big Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Again, it takes hours.
Apparently. That's what I've been told, yeah.
And it's-
Because it moves so slowly.
Yeah, because you think about it, every time it comes down, it's got to let people off.
Ferris wheels are dumb in general for that very reason.
I mean, they say it's a good, once you get to the top, it's a good
kind of cool
view, but it's also expensive.
Yeah.
Bill?
What?
Mount Everest is on the list. They say...
No, wait a minute.
No, let's hear.
An individual who contributed to this list discussed Mount Everest, expressing anxiety about the inherent risks of traveling to the summit. They argue that the risks don't outweigh, or the joy of being there doesn't outweigh the risk
going
of,
up to the top of Mount Everest. Yeah, I have read so much about that over the years, and I would never want to do that.
Now you went to base camp.
The trip there is magnificent. And the culture, it's such a different culture than Western culture, and it's incredible.
Let's see, the Little Mermaid in Copenhagen, the statue.
Yeah, it's just a little statue out in the
see
harbor.
that,
Yeah, if you make that as destination, you're like, oh, it's just a.
If I happen to catch it out of the corner of my eye, that would be okay.
So there you go. Don't go to any of those. Although Bill would like you to go to all of those places. I think.
I don't know. I've had a good experience with all of that.
Well, I enjoyed the Louvre, but the Mona Lisa was a little underwhelming. Yeah.
I was surprising that it was so small. I saw it in New York first. It was on loan, and it was surprising that it was so small. But I did get up close to it. It's actually not called the Mona Lisa. It's called the official title is like "Woman on a Balcony" or something like that. That's what Da Vinci called it. But,
where did Mona Lisa come from?
I don't know.
Because I took when we were in Paris last, I said to my wife and her brother, we got to go to the Louvre. I'm telling you guys, we got to go to the Louvre. And we get going through it, and about 45 minutes in, they're like, "Okay, we're done." I'm like, "We haven't even gotten to the Egyptian stuff downstairs yet."
No?
Nope, we're done.
You hate art? Is that what you're telling me?
That's what
You
I
hate
said.
art.
Yeah.
I said, okay, greatest works of art on the planet. Okay, fine.
To go back to the Girl Scout cookies, they have tried to change the name of Samoa's to Caramel Delights. And the reason is political correctness, as I surmised.
Oh, see, and I never went there. I always thought it was because I want Samoa.
Yeah,
some more.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Oh, okay, whatever. They're still delicious. They're still my favorite. All right.
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, we'll crawl towards the exits coming up. Salt Lake Film Society.
Yeah, so this is your last week to check out some of the special things they have going on Salt Lake Film Society at the Broadway Center Cinema. This is one of the reasons we love them. They do these programs, and the program they have this month for Black History Month is a bunch of films you might not be familiar with. I Am Not Your Negro, Love and Basketball, Ganja and Hess, Time, all of those black cinema, only this month though. Also, they're doing the I'm Just Ryan series. It's Ryan Gosling movies.
That's counter-programming.
Song to Song, Drive, Only God Forgives, Blue Valentine, and yes, they're going to have Barbie on the big screen there. It's a good chance to go see it again before the Oscars. You should be a member of the Red Carpet Club because you'll get early ticket access to special events, special invites, and 20% off the delicious concessions they have there. All the tickets and information you need available at slfstix.org.
Imagine this.
Katie.
Hi.
I want to question you closely about your trip.
Let's do this.
So tell everybody what it was, where you went.
Well, my annual Lost Lands trip with my life-size dinosaurs. It is
now you didn't go with dinosaurs. There were dinosaurs.
There were dinosaurs there. Okay. Although I did take a little dinosaur that was gifted to us in our wristband package and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was like a little Lego dinosaur. I took that with us. We went to Ohio. It's in a tiny little town called Thornville, where Legend Valley is at.
How long is how many years have they done it there?
It started in 2017. That was the first year, and I've been every single year. It's my home. I love that place. I went with my Lost Lands crew that I actually met there in 2018. There should be a photo over at x96.com/live. Life-size dinosaurs. I'm not kidding. They're huge. Yep. That's just one of them. This is my favorite place to be, but it's heavy dubstep, bass, and camping.
Okay, who are these people? That's you.
So that's me, and then down in the right-hand corner, if you're looking at it, is my girlfriend Sierra.
Go to x96.com/live.
She's a beautiful human. Right above her is her husband, John, that I'm standing next to, and then my future husband in the next month, although technically we did get fake married at Lost Lands. That is him in the blue pashmina.
Now, what do dinosaurs have to do with dubstep?
So Excision, my favorite DJ, the one that puts on this festival, started it. He's always been in love with dinosaurs, and so he wanted to create a prehistoric place that people would love and enjoy and have fun at, and it really is just a magical place. I got to meet my favorite French DJ at Lost Lands this year. His name is Wales. He's super sweet. There's a photo of him and I. That is during Thursday, the back-to-back-to-back.
He looks French, doesn't he?
It's a huge pre-party, but I love him dearly.
He really does look French.
And he gave me a personal little Wales pin. That's his, figure. It's really cool. Lots of heavy bass, but it's so much fun. It's my favorite thing to do. But then I have another photo up on x96.com/live.
Will you post these on?
Yes, a lot of these are posted on my Facebook and my Instagram already, but I will post some of these on our Radio from Hell ones.
Well, there's somebody that person's not wearing much clothing.
You won't see a lot of clothing sometimes. Girls go braless. They wear almost nothing sometimes. Thongs. That is Yep. You see a lot of butts, Bill. A lot of butts, a lot of boobs.
Well, I'm going next year.
That is It's called Wampy Woods. Is that stage? There's a couple dinosaurs on the stage itself. There's dinosaurs on almost every single stage. That is Sierra and I, right in front, taking that photo.
Now when the dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. They're statues. They're models.
Yes, some of them are animatronics.
Life size, or
majority of them are pretty life size to scale as much as they can be. Maybe a little bit bigger than normal.
How many different dinosaurs do you think are there?
They calculated, I think, over 200 different dinosaurs.
Jeez.
From Raptor Alley, which is another little stage they had that had raptors all over it. They've got brachiosauruses, all the different triceratopses, and just ceratopses in general.
I don't think that's triceratopses. I think it's Triceratopsi.
Maybe.
If they're plural.
No.
But T-Rex's, it's a really fun place, and then they have little hidden rooms that we got to go in.
What?
There's a fake wobble god that you can pray to named.
What?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's just a fun little thing where you can participate. It's a secret room. If you get in, you get and you wobble with this god. You get a headband.
You go in a secret room and wobble with a god.
Yeah, it's wobbling to the music
Okay.
because wubs, that's a big thing in dubstep and stuff like that.
Are you following this, Carrie?
Probably not.
No. I'm trying. I'm trying to hang in there with you.
About 3/4 there.
Yeah.
But it's
so secret rooms.
So yeah, they have these secret rooms that you go and find. They're normally by stages, and if you find them, they're just decorated. They're really fun tents.
Are there clues that you follow to find them, or
I guess, or a lot of it is social media posting that we kind of missed because we missed 2 of the rooms. But the music's wonderful. I get to be there with my favorite people, my best friends.
So what do you? You're there on the premises constantly. For
Yeah,
5 days.
So we camp. So we get there on Wednesday. We rent an RV. We show up on Wednesday. We pull in. We get all set up. We get to hang out. We walk through the marketplace that has a bunch of vendors. There was a really big stage in the marketplace.
What do you do for food?
There's a lot of different food vendors, but we pre-made like breakfast burritos. We bought some stuff from Sam's Club to just keep us going through the day, so we weren't spending a lot of money on food. It's expensive. Food is the most expensive thing. And then Thursday is the pre-party that they have, where it's like almost 40 or so DJs that randomly switch off and just play for like 3 or 4 hours
you
together.
have to have a party before the party.
Exactly, yeah. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all-day festivals. There's vendors inside. There's like a quiz, not quiz, but it's kind of like a treasure hunt that you can do where you get a little sticker.
So this is
massive, huge area. And so we sell out this festival roughly, I think, 75,000 tickets or so. We do VIP so we can get kind of extra space, a lot better bathrooms. This song is actually one of my favorite songs on
How do you know
planet.
they're better bathrooms than the Juggalos have?
Well, they're better than the porta potties, I'll tell you that, because they're actual trailers that have locking doors and running water sinks, and you can flush the toilets.
Yeah, Juggalos don't go for that.
No, it's phenomenal. Like, I love VIP because you can also get comfy chairs and good seating areas.
Interestingly enough, at the last gathering of the Juggalos, total of 25 broken hips.
Jeez. Wait, for
They
real?
they are getting up there.
That would
aren't
be
they?
pretty entertaining.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The insane
Yeah, well, one
clown
of them
posse.
can't even perform anymore.
If you add up the combined ages of the insane clown posse, it's 350.
Lovely.
How many people attend this?
Roughly 65 to 75,000, I think.
I wonder how many people go to the Juggalos.
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, do it.
You can just look up Lost Lands on YouTube, and you can see what goes on there. And all I can say is, Bill, the Holy Ghost is not present. That's all.
I see.
A lot of lasers and lights and dinosaurs and dubstep.
Well, the Holy Ghost has a known aversion to lasers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the best place in the world for me.
You will continue to go every year.
Every single year, you can guarantee in September I will be taking an entire week off, like
People
I
are
always
mellow,
do.
no violence, no.
No. Actually,
Okay.
this year was really great. I didn't see a lot of people going down because of drugs and stuff, but that is Lost Lands. We can tell you more about it later if we want.
Green Day.
To leave no stone unturned when it comes to Girl Scout cookies, Samoas. It was thought that the name changed. People were saying the name changed because of political correctness to what is it, Caramel Delights? Or that's actually not true.
Oh,
it's because two Girl Scout they contract with two different bakeries.
Okay.
So depending on which bakery makes it, one that makes it calls it a Samoa, the other that makes it calls it a Caramel
I
Delight.
thought the girls made the cookies.
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
I thought they all got
No,
together.
no, the girls don't get together
In a big kitchen.
and have an assembly line, and then they package them. And no.
But I thought
It's a lie.
Sorry, Carrie. Sorry
Those are a
to
lie.
ruin that for
I've
you.
been lied to.
And I said I'd seen the Mona Lisa twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. But I've seen the Mona Gorilla dozens of times.
That's it.
The Mona Gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
Was that originally a Mad Magazine thing?
National Lampoon.
Oh, it was Lampoon. Yeah. And the adult version of Mad Magazine.
Yes, they had T-shirts, and you could buy them.
Mona Gorilla.
Is it a gorilla pose like?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what do you think?
I don't know.
It was a gorilla, and,
Just same-
and it looked
little
exactly
smile?
like the Mona
Yeah,
Lisa.
little
Had the smile and
Yep.
everything.
The Mona Gorilla.
Yes.
I liked it a lot.
Oh,
Salvador Dali did a self-portrait of it. It was himself posed as the Mona Lisa.
you said the Mona Gorilla. I thought maybe Mona, Utah had a gorilla.
That's a thought. The Mona Gorilla. Daddy, we need to open a zoo.
Because I just found a gorilla.
The Mona Gorilla is in the chat room if you want to look. Some guy found it.
And your Utah word could be grilla.
Grilla.
Yeah,
Huh?
I've used that one before, but I've gotten to the point where I have to repeat myself.
We bought a zoo, Daddy. I saw that movie the other night, and it gave me a great... Spilling secrets on tomorrow's Radio from Hell show here on X96.
I'm actually really good at keeping secrets. I pride myself on it.
It's spoilers.
It's
it's
different. That's a different thing.
If you tell me, don't tell anyone this, anyone,
Mm-hmm.
even my wife, even your wife,
You'll keep it.
I will keep that secret.
Texter says Carrie crying about the cookies sounded an awful lot like Frank Christ crying.
I wonder why.
I
think he must have picked it up.
I
from
think
him.
it's just a
Doesn't
coincidence.
make any sense.
Yeah. I think you're hearing things, whoever you are, texting in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so.
And again, fair.
Mona Gorilla.
The Mona Gorilla.
Mona Grilla.
Maybe we open a restaurant called the Mona Grill. And our mascot is the Mona Grilla.
Yeah.
In the zoo, we have a...
Oh, it's a place to eat.
It's
in
a
the zoo.
fine dining
Oh.
establishment where you can sit with the finest cloth napkins.
Turns out,
And you watch the otters play.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Turns out it's only a stuffed gorilla.
Stuffed grilla.
Grilla.
Yeah. I'd like some stuffed grilla, please.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Just checking to make sure we got everything.
Everything done?
I think so.
We have to clean up the studio because Dallin Weeks is here tomorrow.
Yeah, we got to be
We have
presentable.
guests?
Yeah.
Be presentable for Dallin
That
Weeks
means you got to take your graham crackers out of here.
No, he loves them.
Oh, okay.
And we're, of course, putting out the charcuterie tray. The Radio from Hell charcuterie.
You mean the meat and cheese tray?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Meat and cheese.
Might just call it a meat and
What
cheese
about the
tray.
crudité? We can have crudité?
Yes, we are. We'll have vegetables.
All right. Fine job as always, Katie. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Crudité and charcuterie?
Mm-hmm.